And welcome aboard here to TSC Live here on Real Talk Radio 93.3 here in the Tallahassee area. That's North Georgia, North Florida. Whoa, curveball. Here we go. North Florida, Big Bend area, of course, South Georgia. Get us going here. Of course, it is your Tallahassee Soccer Club here going against the Florida Roots coming over from Panama City. Should be an exciting contest. Of course, it's also an 8-5-0 Cup contest, which we'll get to a little later down the line. But it's going to be a fun atmosphere here down at the Gene Cox Stadium on the south side of Tallahassee, the capital of the Sunshine State. So the players for both teams warming up. The referee is getting limber over there. So we have a full refereeing staff, Joe, which was an issue when we went over to Panama City, but it looks like we are good to go here tonight. I'm Andrew Droop alongside Joe Ward. We should be joined by a special guest later on, and but of course, only time will tell, Joe. And we'll keep it posted, and we'll keep it rocking and rolling. But this is a hometown Tallahassee TSC radio broadcast. So for those who don't know what that means or are not familiar with the biz, Joe, that means this is a produced by TSC broadcast. So this is a pro TSC situation. We will give honor to the visitors from Panama City. We're not going to dog them. We're going to give them respect, and if they give us a roster, we'd be more than glad to give their names and everything, because we know there's some talented players out here today for the Roots, as we know. But the crux of it is, to this part in the season, right, you got to talk about the table, Joe, because the table is the big thing of discussion. So let's bring up this table. Here you go. So, of course, for those of you who don't know, Tallahassee Soccer Club is in the National Premier Soccer League. Of course, nationwide league.
Gulf Coast Division.
Absolutely. Gulf Coast Conference, which is basically Jacksonville to New Orleans. Simply put, there's 7 teams in that span, and that's who we play. As you can see on the table, Jacksonville, Southern States, which is just outside of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. These Florida Roots, the New Orleans Jesters, Pensacola FC, Tallahassee SC, and AFC Mobile. So you can see, Joe, as you look at the table, a little bit of disparity here. A surprise to some to see the Roots so high up, but we knew they were going to be a solid ball club and on the rise this year. So the Roots starting off early here in 3rd position. Of course, big thanks to their last result against TSC. TSC currently sitting in 6th. Of course, 2 points on the season. Florida Roots, Joe, have 6 points already. They're 2-2, so they have 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws. TSC is 0-2. So similar but different here. Both teams in match day 5, Tallahassee 2 losses and 2 draws. So what does that mean? Of course, it could mean a couple different things. It could mean we have an opportunity to jump up in the table here, some exciting things going on. Or it could be an opportunity for the Roots to really take the next step. So, Joe, it'll be an interesting one. And like we said, Florida Roots, 6 points, more points already through 4 games than they had 12 last year. They totaled 5 points all last year. They've already got 6, man. So definitely a team on the rise. Joe, we don't know how we don't know where we're going until we know where we've been. Correct or incorrect?
I would say you're correct on that.
So let's get it going.
Panama City, the Florida Roots, it's a vastly improved team. They got 6 points already. That's more points than they had a year ago.
There you go.
Richard Kenneberg, who's their first-year coach, is doing a nice job. And this team does have firepower. Here, as I'm looking at the sheet here, one in particular that jumps out at me is Jake McKettrick, who had 2 goals against TSC in the first meeting out in Panama City.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bagged 2 of them. So that, of course, as you see it, it's going to be on the wayside. That 4-2 victory for the Roots. So 3 all-time games against the Florida Roots. TSC has won 1. They've lost one and tied one. So here we go, a little rubber match, if you will, here, Joe. Of course, the first ever game was out in Panama City. That was a 3-3 tie last year. Second game was here at Tallahassee. TSC taking care of business, 3-0 last year. But then the Roots, a little
4-2 smackdown.
Clapback, Joe.
Out at PC.
Oof, yeah, that was a rough one. Of course, the referee delay, some weather, and TSC was just a rough go of it out there, man. It was just, long story short, they just didn't play up to par, and they were not ready for the new-look Roots. But talking to Coach Pregame, Coach Bruno here for TSC, he's pretty confident they're going to be able to jump up. They now have a different plan of attack, something that you saw in the second half of the game. They did make the adjustments. They did win that second half. Did get 2 goals because this game was 3-0 at halftime. And, Joe, when you talk about all the points and going forward and jumping up in the table, that's always going to be key, goal differential. If TSC is going to be in this race, that's going to be big, man. So the difference between 4-0 and 4-2
could be big down the road.
Absolutely. You saved those 2 goals, and we saw it last week. Obviously taking the L to Southern State's 2-0, Joe. But being able to keep it at 2-0 and not let it get out of hand, like a 4-1, like a 5-1, is going to be key. And TSC, we're hoping, is going to be right around that 4-5 spot to give themselves a chance later down the season. Goal differential will come into play there. But the good news is, of course, we had some sickness last week. We had some players that still weren't back, Joe. And so when you take a look at it, the old Thin Lizzy song, the boys are back in town here, Joe. Of course, returnees tonight. The captain, Johnny Fitzgerald, he's got a full bill of health. Of course, Drew Daunt, who was also sick last week, he's good to go. Of course, Bennett Mitchell, he's going to be returning. And first game back for Corey Davis, Joe. This is a player, of course, up at Howard this year, former Leon guy, absolute beast. Corey Davis, one of my favorite players ever to come through the Big Bend at the high school level, and he is very versatile, absolutely dynamic speed. He's a grinder, aggressive, wins balls out of the back. If you want him up front, he'll win set plays, aggressive, he'll hunt down the ball, and he will cut off avenues. If he gets up top with Ryan Daunt on the wings here, Joe, I think you could see some really exciting stuff. But I'm hoping we see Corey Davis here tonight. He should be wearing number 17.
I'm looking forward to it also. It's going to be a big difference now that Tallahassee is, if not at full strength, they're very close to it. Here, this could really help here, not only tonight, but as we go forward. That's why back at Jacksonville, when Coach Bruno played those younger players toward the end of that 2-2 tie, that was with this very thing in mind, to build up depth. It's because if somebody's not here, it's next man up. Well, guess what? Those players who have been out are back now.
Absolutely.
Here, and now we're going to be interested to see how this Tallahassee team now looks at full strength here.
There you go. And so when you factor in injuries and you factor in returning players, this is match day 5, and truly, when you include Corey into the mix, this is the first match that TSC will be at full strength, to your point, Joe. So it'll be really exciting to do how they do.
And more importantly, fresh legs.
Absolutely.
We're all for fresh legs here, because you're reaching the halfway point of the season, and tonight weather could play a little factor. It is warm down on the field. Here's something we didn't see last week. This could play into this game a little bit tonight.
Absolutely. We'll see if we're able to be utilizing the water breaks here, Joe, because, of course, at the referee's discretion, not mandatory. If both teams agree on them, we'll get a water break either first half, second half, or both. So, of course, we talk about these games meaning more here, Joe. So, basically, the conference, as it sits, is essentially divided into a Western and Eastern Conference. And basically the borderline of or Western and Eastern Division, if you will. It's unofficial, of course, but basically the borderline is the state of Florida. So you have 3 of the 4 teams in the 850 area code, and we teased it a little bit before, but tonight is an 850 Cup game here, Joe. Of course, our local rivals, Pensacola and Florida Roots from Panama City. So, of course, we are halfway home. TSC, a little tough go of it. A loss and a tie has them at the bottom of the table right now, as you can see that -2 goal differential. But an opportunity, if they can get a win and they can get a little separation here from the Roots, they're going to jump right up to the top and could leapfrog into first place over Pensacola tonight.
Well, a a win, you get max points. That will put you at no worse, at least a tie, depending on the outcome of these games as we go along here. That could be big. I wouldn't worry about the goal differential right now. I would wait, see what the differential is when you get down toward the end, because correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe we will see Mobile later on.
Right, but Mobile not participating in the 850 Cup, of course, just the three. It's like a triad rivalry.
We'll see Pensacola. When we get to the Pensacola game later out yonder, we'll very much know what needs to be done.
Absolutely, but of course, got to keep the goal differential in mind because that will be a determining factor. So you want to kind of keep your pegging. And right now, Pensacola, of course, winning against the Florida Roots, tying. So they're still undefeated in 850 Cup play right now. But like we said, a win tonight, and it could drastically change things. And it would set up a very fun finale. June 29th, TSC at Pensacola. That will be the last game in the 850 Cup. Depending on how these next couple games shake down, of course, you got to factor in the June 12th game. PFC is going to travel to the Roots. That was a 3-2 game out in Pensacola. Very entertaining one. I believe it was last week. And but that could set up a winner-take-all out to our West, Joe.
And that's what you want.
You go.
You want the opportunity. Here, that's all you as a player or as a coach or even a fan. That's what you want. You want to put yourself in an opportunity to take it when we get to that night, because a loss tonight, and even with this thing, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be real tough sledding. I don't think, no, it wouldn't be possible. A loss by Tallahassee tonight would mathematically eliminate them from the 850 Cup. Obviously, the bigger table at whole, still so many more games to play there.
You got to think the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Absolutely here. So we're still here in the pregame. So, of course, we want to talk about the opponent, right? So we like to talk about it. For those that are familiar with the broadcast, familiar with the TSC community, there's also a podcast that corresponds to it. Of course, a little Tallahassee talk. Of course, episode 25 just dropped earlier today. Of course, discussing recap rants of Southern States versus TSC. Also previewed here this Roots game, of course. But one of the segments we love to do there, and of course you can check it out at Tallahassee Talk on all social media. You'll be able to find it there. But of course, one of the items of discussion is going behind enemy lines, right, Joe? That's one of our favorite segments is, hey, let's preview these opponents here. We talked about it a little bit when we got started. Of course, a couple names we dropped. But let's talk about some of the Florida Roots players to watch here so far on this season. Joe, anybody, like we talked about a little earlier, you got your eye on here for the Roots?
Well, I will start with the three players that scored out there in Panama City.
Right?
That's first and foremost.
That's a real good place to start.
Here, Jake McKettrick with the 2 goals out there. Another one is Christopher McKenna, who had a goal against TSC out yonder. And then you got Richard Bushmeister, who had the 4th goal. But the player that has my attention the most, who I don't see any numbers on from that first game out in Panama City, is the team captain, Andrew Beasley.
Yep.
I've heard you talk about this player. I heard Trent talk about this player earlier in the year. I look for him to make his presence known tonight for Panama City.
Absolutely. He's going to be the jump starter. He's going to be doing most of his work, so we assume, and what we've seen in the midfield, Joe. Of course, you look at the defensive line. David Bourne is a big name that sticks out. Of course, he was on the MPSL regional team here with Joey Peralta and some of those big guys from Jacksonville and Pensacola. Of course, nationally recognized here on that all-region team. Also, Gabriel Vidal is an absolute jump starter. I believe he's going to be wearing 21 tonight. I talked to Coach Bruno about him earlier in the week. He's going to be a really dangerous on-the-ball player. If you're looking for a player comp, maybe think of Murillo last week from Southern States. He won't necessarily jump out on the wing all the time, but he's got that kind of technical skill in close spaces. He's going to be very dangerous to watch.
Another player for Panama City to keep an eye on tonight, Ricardo Smith.
There you go, and that's a fantastic transition here, Joe. Of course, Ricardo Smith, the former Jamaican national team member. He's just a big, classic stand-up striker. He burned TSC when we went on the road last year great facilitator. And, of course, you talk about those new weapons, Bushmeister, McKenna, McKettrick, that he's going to be working with on the front line and, of course, in goal-scoring opportunities. Set plays, these guys have size. It's not just Smith this year. That back line is real tall, Joe, and it presented some problems for TSC the first time around, trying to go with a lot of aerial balls into the box. You can expect a lot of flankage here today. It'll be interesting to see if the Roots whip out the same formation as they did last time. They ran a 3-5-2, 3 defenders in the back, a big bolstered 5 midfield and 2 attack, and were able to play very direct and just get after us over there in Panama City for that 4-2 win. So we'll see if TSC gets a little flankage. Unfortunately, of course, we talk about the boys who are returning today. When you talk about Johnny, B. Mitch, Drew, and Kari, we do have a couple players that are not going to be taking care of business tonight. That's going to be Mateus Bittencourt, who's a very dangerous player. He scored out in Panama City a couple weeks ago. He's evidently feeling ill this week. And also, we want to send our regards Adrian Perez last week when he went down early, about the 4th or 5th minute over there on the far side. Mm-hmm. Official ruling, torn ACL, Joe.
For the year.
Oof.
That's brutal.
Absolutely. And just a really exciting player to get into the fold here for TSC. But our thoughts, prayers, it just heart's breaking for him, man.
What about the player early in the second half that was laid out?
That went down?
Yeah,
he's back.
What's the update on him?
He's in the 18, so he cleared protocol. No long-lasting issues there. Mike Zamora, of course, number 3. He'll be coming up into the action here, and we anticipate that he'll be in the starting lineup. If not, he'll definitely be utilized in the second half in the defenseman role.
Good to see, because that was brutal last week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course, the collision, and then, long story short, second goal goes in. But he was down for probably about 3.5 minutes seeking medical attention, as was Adrian in the first half of that game against Southern States. So just really unfortunate. Give your heart out to him, and just really, really tough. But
the one with Andrew Perez, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Early in the game here, he's been one of the main players for Tallahassee here, and you hope it's a quick recovery. Of course, he's done for the year, because ACLs, those take a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a calendar year here. As we continue to talk a little bit more personnel, we talk about who's not showing up, but let's talk about the game day roster. So, of course, starters still to be announced. Coach Bruno is milking every single second he can before he announces the starters. But here you go. You can see the 18. We talk about the major players here coming up, and we're getting ready for the national anthem here shortly. So we may abruptly jump to the national anthem here, Joe. But you can see, or you can't see on this screen. But here we go, TSC coming out here, the starting lineup. Of course, that's team captain Johnny Fitzgerald, of course, going through and leading the rest of the boys here on the near sideline. You can see Johnny Fitzgerald, Bosco Perry, Joe Peralta, Austin Lee, Andrew Geyer, who's wearing the 16. He's a new introduction to the lineup here. Ryan Daunt, the youngster, has been having a fantastic season. And then Robbins Pierre, the big center back. Of course, going down the line, Charles Blankenship, he'll be up top. There's your boy, Joe. Mike Zamora, number 3. He's back in the starting lineup. Of course, center back Jack Chambers. Cousin Cy, he's going to be up top. Those are going to be your starters today. We also talk about Kari Davis coming up here, but we're going to step aside real quick for a quick national anthem. All right, looks like we're still waiting on the national anthem. Here's the Roots players will file in for us here today. So a moment of silence here for County Commissioner Jimbo Jackson, of course, all those affected in the Uvalde events earlier this week. There we go. Now the national anthem here on the way. The Young Actors Theater here from Tallahassee. Once again, so far, fantastic performances. All right, and there we go. Thank you, Matt. Excellent job, Matt Trader, of course, the Young Actors Theater here in Tallahassee. So, of course, we see the player personnel looking to get ready to rock and roll. Andrew Jupe and Joe Ward here giving you the broadcast here today. As you can see, Captain Johnny Fitzgerald in goal is going to be Bosco Perry. Joey Peralta, number 14. Number 22, Austin Lee. Number 16, Andrew Geyer, his first appearance here for TSC this season. And then you're going to have Ryan Daunt, likely to play on the wing there. Charles Blankenship up top. He's part of that big strike force. Mike Zamora on the back line. Number 3. Number 5, Jack Chambers here, first year for TSC, continuing to have a great season. Of course, going down, number 8, Sands Rapids Pierre. He's going to be the side center back to Chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can't forget about number 11, Cousin Cy Fontenot, of course, the Tallahassee striker. Here's one of the dangerous men here as we get ready to get rocking and rolling here, Joe. How you liking the atmosphere out here tonight?
Feels good. Feels good here. Feels good here. This is a game here that Tallahassee, they play good, get off to a good start. Here, they can win this game, get back into the playoff picture on the thinking the bigger picture, also the 850 Cup. So there's plenty to play for tonight.
Absolutely. Cannot forget about the old 850 Cup, Joe. You are so right. And also, just want to have a PSA announcement for those who don't know. Just want to issue a trigger warning here, Joe. This is a hometown radio broadcast for the Big Ben, by the Big Ben, produced and developed here in Tallahassee, Florida. So this will be a pro TSC broadcast here, and you're going to have to deal with it. But thanks for our friends from Panama City if you're tuning in, or those beyond in the rest of the league. But you have been warned. We will give respect to your squad, but this is a pro TSC situation here, Joe, and that is the cut and dry of it, my man.
Yeah.
So we're about to get off and rolling here.
And as my brother James Ward would say, let's light this candle.
Absolutely.
Get this thing going.
Absolutely. Of course, getting ready to rock and roll here for the opening bit of action as we try to cue up our scoreboard. And I'd like to introduce a little guest of the broadcast, of course, friend of TSC. Thank you for coming aboard with us. Did you catch your breath yet, or you need a little bit more time?
I very much enjoyed my climb up K2. This is as athletic as I'm going to be.
Absolutely. So Adrian, and it's Counts.
Adrian Counts. Yeah,
Counts.
that's me.
Thank you. Of course, Mrs. One Fresh Pillow.
That's
For
it.
those of you who don't know, would you like to take a seat, or you stand in room only today?
I'm standing, baby.
Absolutely.
We'll
of course,
call this exercise as well.
the excitement going forward here today. How can you sit down, right, Joe?
True. No, I'm sitting down right now.
There you go. The excitement is palpable. Like we said, TSC trying to climb the table here, an 8-5-0 contest. No place to do it than the present. This is the best time we have an opportunity to get those points here at home. And why not get it rolling? So the captain, Johnny Fitzgerald, is going to be rocking and rolling everything for us. Of course, with the captain goes the ship here, Joe. And we're going to be off and away. He's going to dish it back. TSC's going to pass it around the back end, but we're hoping for an exciting affair down from Gene Cox Stadium. Like we said, the second time these two teams are meeting here on this young season. So off and away here for TSC, and it'll be out for a throw-in for the Florida Roots. Of course, who are wearing white and black tonight. Tallahassee in all gold. So, Adrian, of course, we heard about some great pregame festivities. How are the people down there?
The people are amazing. We had so much fun at our little gathering. We can't call it a tailgate.
There you go.
But we had so many fun people. One of the best things I think about being part of this soccer family and supporting the Battle Lions is that it's really such a family-friendly environment. There are so many kids, so many, we've got our tweens and our teens and people of all ages, and it's just so much fun. Everyone gets to hang out a little bit before the game, and then we all get to come in and cheer together, and we absolutely love it.
There you go. Great atmosphere. That's what it's all about, and that's what they're trying to build, a community event that's family-friendly, as we had a good save by Bosco Perry to start things off, throw-in. And it looks like the Florida Roots want to start fast as they square it off. I believe that's Beasley. Once again, we have no roster for the Florida Roots. That was not presented to us up here in the press box. So we'll
Can I make up names?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
We want to be careful with it, but we can get things rolling for TSC. We do know our boys in all gold. We got the Saturday Golds out here. Chambers, number 5, here bringing up the defense for TSC. Looking for some service over the top. Looking for the youngster Ryan Daunt. Heads it through to Blankenship. This one's going to be one off the back here. Cousin Cy will give some pursuit here near side. And it'll be won by Joey P. Joey Peralta. Johnny Fitzgerald. Of course, the Akron man. He is up and healthy this week. Of course, we were told a little bit of a stomach bug last week. Him, Andrew Daunt, one of 4 players back into the fold this week that were not feeling so great last week against Southern States.
Now, we had an injury last week, yeah?
A couple of different injuries, but yeah, to your point, we did talk about it pregame. Adrian Perez, torn ACL, the one that happened really early, out for the year. That's going to be long-term, so heartbreaker for him. He was really just kind of getting his TSC feet going here in the early going. So 3rd minute of action. Of course, still scoreless. TSC got to be on their toes here. Of course, this was a Florida Roots team that came after him early. It was a 3-0 game at halftime. Here's Ryan Daunt, and then U19 member centering ball is deflected over the top. And Adrian, we talked about early goals. Almost had one there.
Oh, man. There's going to be a lot of me trying to not yell. This is like an exercise in self-control for me today.
There you go.
Because I get very animated.
Far side. Ryan, I like his speed here.
Oh, yeah.
He had a great shot opportunity, If it doesn't get deflected, it could have gone in right there at the corner.
Absolutely. Nice little centering ball. Of course, did have a TSC member in here, but it looks like Ryan will take it. He's a natural lefty, so this will be an in-swinger going back towards goal. 6 TSC Battle Lions in the box. Chambers with a header just over the top corner. How about TSC on the attack early, gang? I love when Chambers gets up in the mix. That's something he's done all season long from the center back role, but set play opportunities, a chance for TSC, who this season has been on the back foot of a lot of ball games. You talk about them playing the best 3 teams in the league already from a season ago. An opportunity to get some scoring chances. Chambers says we'll go up and get those. An attacking prod here and out of play right in front of the Florida Roots bench. So Mike Zamora, good to see him up and at him, of course, clearing all necessary concussion protocols. If you remember last week, he went down in the late 48th plus minute. Service over the top, looking for Ryan Dunn. Oh, he goes in, tries to flick it over the keeper, and this one will be up and out of play for TSC throw-in.
I got to tell you something, Andrew. Anytime I see one of our players in advance of the rest of the field, I get very concerned that it's going to be offsides, and I'm also concerned that I don't know what offsides is, much like Ted Lasso.
There you go. There you go. So, for the people at home who don't know, of course, you need 2 defenders behind you, either level to you or behind you. So it could be 1 defender and 1 goalkeeper, or it could be 2 players, but when the ball is kicked. So not when the ball lands at you.
Just when it's kicked.
But once it is released, need 2 players behind you. So a quick guy versus Ryan Dunn, he can really make those defenses think twice.
I love that.
So a short ball being played here by the Roots out of the back. And this one's going to be flicked onward and chested down here. One back here by TSC. Okay. Peralta, a nice little stab through there. Coach Joey P. 3 children, number 14 has.
I am so impressed by these young and not so young men. I have 1 child, and I can't run for 3 minutes, much less 90. Like, what are they doing?
Absolutely. You should see him in practice. Coach Bruno's got him going for 3 hours. Nice little overlapping run here. Austin Lee tries to play it up to Blankenship. Keeper out of the box. Blasts it over to the far side of the stadium.
It made it all the way almost to the top row.
Yep, almost hit that tifo. What do you think of the beautiful artistry being put on the far side we see over there, Adrian?
I love our battle lion. It is majestic. It's incredible. I'm a little partial to one of the sponsor signs. There's a little company called One Fresh Pillow.
There you go.
I own it. I mean, my husband owns it as well, but I'm the one on the radio, so.
There you go.
But I do love seeing all of the sponsors, and that's another thing that I love about this sport is it's a much more accessible way to sponsor a local team. Mm-hmm. Some of us don't have big college sponsorship dollars, and it's so nice to see some amazing companies from Tallahassee supporting this team. And, you know, just another great part of being involved with this little sports family. We love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Was it this week that you guys are going to be giving away all the pillows? Or is
my gosh. We did that before the game.
Okay. It was this week. Okay.
Yeah. We gave away a ton of pillows. We just wanted to do something nice for the fans, and it was so fun.
That's awesome. Of course, a great part of the local community here. One of TSC's favorites, overlapping run coming here for Ryan Dunn.
Come on, baby.
TSC on the
Get
attack.
Get it.
Blankenship, one time. It's a slow roller, and able to catch up to it are the Roots. Blankenship on target, beat the keeper, and the last defender just enough. A slow roller towards the goal and an agonizing 2 seconds for Charles Blankenship taken down at the top of the box. They say play on. Zamora with rips it. One-timer, 25 yards out. Mike Zamora requires the Florida Roots keeper to give a stab. So how about TSC on the offensive front foot? Zamora and company, Blankenship, both getting shots within the last 45 seconds here for TSC.
I don't know much about soccer. However, I know that some of the best games to watch are when your team comes out and they're playing really hard from the very beginning, because I feel like this is very much a game of momentum. And if you don't come out with that momentum right away, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle, and these boys have got the momentum today.
Absolutely. Just the 9th minute. Here comes Johnny Fitzgerald's service going centrally, won initially by the Roots. It'll be spilled out of play. Should be a TSC throw over on the far side. Of course, the referees in blue agree. We do have a full staffing of referees. We were talking, Adrian, which was an issue when we went out to Panama City.
Interesting.
A little shorthanded. That was a credit to the delay there. Good to have a full staff here back.
Yeah, we need as many
different
eyes.
refereeing crew than the last 2 weeks.
I'll make
we'll leave
no
it at that.
comment on that. Read my tweets.
There you go.
My tweets weren't deleted.
There you go. Johnny Fitzgerald flicks it over his head, try to get it on his left foot, taken down in the box, and the referee points to the spot. So it's kind of been a punchline here for TSC, allowing penalty kicks here so far this season, allowed one in every single match that they were called against. Jacksonville had a PK, Florida Roots had a PK, Pensacola had a PK, and Southern States last week. And this time, TSC on the other side of things. And once again, it's cousin Cy Fontenot from the spot. He put one in from the penalty spot against the Roots last time these two teams play. Can cousin Cy do it again and put TSC back on the front foot?
I can feel it. I feel this. I think he's going to go to the right of the keeper. I'm going to will this to happen.
Cousin Cy
say
sauntering
left?
up.
Are we, like, do we bet money in the press box?
Goes to the left-hand side. Keeper saves it, so we'll stay deadlocked at 0. Cousin Cy shoots left. Keeper dives towards his right. And we're still 0-0 here at the Gene. Centering ball, twisting, towering one from Blankenship. Spin into the box. And a Florida Roots player goes down on the back line. Austin Lee involved in the collision there.
Now, did two people hit, or did he just hit the ball with his head? Because it didn't seem like a collision to me.
There were bodies in the area. We'll have to check the replay for official acknowledgement of that. But it's good to see a referee pull it back when there's a potential concussion, which sometimes does not always happen.
Looking out
Player
for the
safety.
What?
How about that?
Oh, my gosh, that's incredible. What a new and unusual concept.
Service for Zamore, and Zamore looks fresh here. Couple good runs, that early shot. Good to see Mike with a full bill of health. Of course, not only getting clean mentally, but looking snappy. Here, a ball centered up to Cy Fontenot. The big scoring attack here for TSC. Fighting off defenders. Look at Cousin Cy truck down that far sideline. Headed northward here geographically. Slides down. And the old slip on the turf. And the looks like the left back there for Panama City, the Florida Roots, gave him a little aid there. And
sportsmanship. We love to see it.
there you go. Helped him get to the turf.
Andrew, what number was that Florida Roots player?
There was over left-hand side, tough to see, maybe number 9.
Number 9?
Of course, we do not have a roster. Once again, we would give credit to the Florida Roots, so if you have access to that information, feel free to send it over to us at Tally SC Talk on social media.
In the meantime,
Or One Fresh Pillow, right?
I'm
What's
just
the
going to make
socials
some
there?
things up. Oh, yeah, you can absolutely tweet us at One Fresh Pillow.
There you go. You're actively watching the socials now, so that's probably the better avenue to get the updated roster to us. Blankenship with the centering ball here for TSC, looking for Austin Lee, who's been a really great addition to this roster here. Joe, what do you think of Austin Lee's performance so far this season?
Good. He's had a nice job so far this year.
Scrappy dude, great addition to the midfield.
Now, one of the great things that we got to do before the game is we didn't just give pillows away to people that got to visit us at our tent pregame. We gave pillows to every single player on the starting roster, 18 men.
Nice.
So I'll sleep better if they win.
They
But
probably will too.
They're all going to sleep a little bit better at least tonight, win or lose.
True. Absolutely. Great move by a great local business. Centering ball coming from Daunt. This one gets all the way through the 6-yard box. 2 TSC players take a swing at it. Nobody gets home. Daunt's second ball. Blankenship tries a scissor kick out of the air. And it falls right to the Florida Roots keeper. But TSC keeping the intensity here in the 13th minute.
I like the aggressiveness.
Absolutely.
It's aggressive.
They got more going. They got more coming forward in the previous games.
Wave after wave, man.
But it's aggressive, but not violent. It's very high energy, but not with some of that kind of intensity.
There you go. Bosco off the line to the top of the 18. Of course, Bosco Perry scooping this one up. The very energetic, emotional keeper. He's been a great addition to the TSC squad this year as well. And plus those dope pink uniforms really pop off the turf here at Gene Cox Stadium. fantastic facility here on the south side. It looks like, I believe 7 is Beasley, if I'm not mistaken, but a great defensive effort by Chambers just to blast it out of play.
I believe it's actually Weasley. He is the long-lost member of the magical Weasley family. I believe that's very accurate. Number 7?
There you go. There you go. Of course, that's the updated roster you got, right?
Yeah, that's my updated roster. Beasley, Weasley now.
Till further notice. 14th minute of action here. The Roots want to get things going. This is a good opportunity off a set play. Long throw coming centrally. Won well there by Daunt. Second ball going to be collected by the Roots about 25 yards away from goal. All the way over by the far side in front of that Battle Lions sign over there. And this will be poke free. And Dawn will take the quick throw in here for TSC. Sans Radman's Pierre, of course, playing center back once again today. Him and Chambers been a great twosome here defensively. Fontenot tried to flick up to Blankenship, and the Roots keeper in all orange will dump it out of play.
Anytime a keeper is out that far, I just want someone to be close enough to make a run on him. I love seeing a one-on-one attack.
There you go. Not many more exciting things here in the game.
Now,
We'll see if we can cut a couple of these guys free. Already a couple great runs. It's
there's
pretty
Weasley
direct.
again. Weasley
Trying to
again.
dump it over the top, and here comes Ryan Daunt here on the far side. He'll able to catch up to it, keeps it in play. Try to find a centering ball. 3 TSC Battle Lions now inside 20 yards. Johnny Fitzgerald, the Akron man, here back to Mike Zamore. A little hesitation move, and Zamore trying to slide up the sideline. The heavy shoulder, last touch by the Roots. Daunt looking to go quickly.
Oh, number 17. You know what? I recognize him, I believe, from those moves he just exhibited. He's actually also a moonlighting MMA fighter.
There you go. Of course, I believe it's Bourne, David Bourne. He was on that 2021 All-Region team. Long ball. Sans Pierre Bosco out of the box and blasted into the crowd. It's not a souvenir, but it's fun to catch one down here on the near side as it makes its way back to the turf. And
Somebody did catch one.
good bit of excitement here for a late arriving crowd. Solid crowd here, gang, for a holiday weekend. As a shot on frame, Bosco gets enough to it, is able to blast it wide of the frame, but a dangerous opportunity here for the Roots on the near side, and I believe that was Gabby. Of course, Gabriel Vidal, number 21. Coach Bruno said in the scouting report he's going to be one of the dangerous players here. He has a lot of similarities to a player we saw last week on Southern State's Murillo, number 7. So how about the Florida Roots team huddle? 6 of them breaking the stack here. Centrally, Zamore with a nice win on over the top, so it'll be another Roots corner from
6 of
the
them,
far
and
side.
they still couldn't score. So,
There you go.
you know, fun fact about Bosco is that he saves so many things. So many goals he saved. I actually saw him before a game save a pigeon, and a few years ago he saved my marriage.
There you
So-
go. Well, that's fantastic. So a bit of humanitarian work for the man in pink.
I'm just kidding. I did see him save that pigeon, though.
Of course, that fantastic penalty save. Of course, what was that, Pensacola just a couple weeks ago? Service from the Roots, in-swinger from the near side. Contact made down to the ground. It's a last touch by the Roots. So after 2 corners, both unsuccessful, be a TSC goal kick coming out of the back. And Bosco didn't have to save that one.
Interesting way the Roots are setting that thing up on corner kicks
What
like that.
is
That
that?
Is a
huddle,
first.
The huddle, they don't want to show their hand what they're going to do.
That is a
until
first.
the kick is made.
I mean,
That's something from the training ground right there, but I have never seen anything
never.
like that.
And I have been forced to watch a lot of EPL soccer with my husband, and I have voluntarily watched both seasons of Ted Lasso. Never seen that, even in the trick play episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is quite the unusual one. So the Florida Roots with a little, what should we say, a couple tricks up the sleeve, if you will.
I've actually seen it a time or two in regular football,
Yes, it's called a huddle.
which
Over
is
the top.
kind of a long-lost deal now.
There you go. Of course, back here, 18th minute of action here for TSC down at G-Cox Stadium. Florida Roots, the visitors from Panama City, knotted up with your local Battle Lions 0-0. Once again, this is a local hometown radio broadcast produced for and by the TSC family. But thank you to anybody outside of the Tallahassee family that is joining us today. But we are unashamed in rooting here for TSC on the broadcast here today, whether you're joining for TLHsoccerclub.com or locally on 93.3 Real Talk Radio here in the North Florida Big Bend or in South Georgia. And here we go, Johnny Fitzgerald, team captain, advancing about 5 yards out from the end line. Oh, a nice little cutback, able to still maintain possession. He goes in, centering ball, looking for Daunt, and at the doorstep, the keeper shuts it close and dives on top of the ball about 2 yards from the goal line. We're still 0-0 here in the 19th minute.
There was a moment there. There was a moment that I thought he was going to lose control of that ball, and we were going to be able to take a little sneak attack.
There you go. And Fitzgerald, he'll hold that ball. Nerves of steel is Johnny Fitzgerald. Of course, able to just possess, hold, wait for a great avenue in a passing lane to free up. He held it to the last possible second. Oh, quick throw. There goes Blankenship.
Get it, baby.
There's
Get
a
it,
one-on-one
baby.
into the box. Help coming late.
Deflected.
And I believe that's Bourne that comes in late. But, Joe, another TSC corner here on the near side.
Already they got 3 corner kicks, and they already have 6 shots on goal already. That not including the penalty kick.
Absolutely. This is a stark contrast to the game out in the Roots. It didn't seem like TSC had a chance at all in the first half. Of course, went into that break trailing 3-0 out in Panama City. Here, 20th minute, a little bit of a different story here early. Team captain Johnny Fitzgerald, the right footer, is going to be an in-swinger here from the near side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battle lines in the box. Daunt up at the top of the 18. He would be the 6th, but he's kind of roaming for that second wave. Sands Pierre is going to go back post about 6 yards deep over the top of Chambers and everybody. It looks like it's touched by the Florida Roots. And will be a TSC throw-in about 1 yard from the end line. So Chambers looks like he wants to set up a long throw with 4 battle lions in the box.
No tricky plays by our boys.
There you go,
Just
in the
straight
middle.
up
This one's
soccer, baby.
dropped
Get it,
off.
get
Tried to land it.
get it.
Sands Pierre.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
gone. And Fitzgerald again. First time with the right foot, this time with the left foot. He's able to collect the loose ball, centering ball. Sands Pierre brings it down. Fontenot with a
Come
shot
on, baby.
attempt. Blankenship biked it. Oh, and it goes just wide. TSC.
I tell you what, they have, it is not for a lack of some legitimate attempts on goal. These guys are on fire. They deserve a goal. We're
How
gonna see
about
them.
it down at the end line? Charles Blankenship, no helmet, but still pulls out the old two-wheeler, the bicycle attempt inside the box, just wide of the goal.
Oh.
That would have been one of the most spectacular goals I've ever seen live in person. Oof, but we still knotted at zeros here. 22nd minute approaches here for TSC. Centering ball, Roots trying to go up over the top. Nobody home except Bosco Perry and those fantastic new pink kits here. On out to Zamora coming out of the back. Trying to buy some time. Here comes Gabby on the help D for the Roots. It'll be out of play here for a TSC throw-in. Referee wants to back Zamora up here. Make sure he doesn't get any advancing position. And he gets it back in play here for TSC.
I tell you what, number 18 for the Roots, I'm getting some more intel on their roster, and he is a very tough player considering the derivation of his number, 18. It's his favorite number, and it's also the number of Beanie Babies he owns that are valued at over $1,000.
Oh, a little slush fund there.
Yeah, he's a big Beanie Baby fan.
Over to Zamora here near side. Going to be swung back around for Lee. Centering ball with the right foot to Fontenot. Top of the 18. Falls to the Roots. Clearance from the 18-yard box end. The visitors from Panama City trying to launch a counterattack as they're able to get out of their own defending third. And referee will hold up for a foul call.
They are spending a lot of time on defense this evening. The Roots have not had much possession during this game. I'm not keeping specific time, but
Absolutely.
It is very apparent that this is a heavy offense game for our Tallahassee boys right now.
Absolutely. Pressure is on. They're going after this one. Player down here near side holding the left hamstring, it looked like. Don't know if that's cramp or otherwise, but the center referee will usher him to the sideline. And it looks like a potential substitution coming here for the Roots. And yeah, it looks like day is done for number 6 here on the near side. So of course we do not have a roster, so I apologize for that. If you're in the Roots community, Feel free to message Tallahassee Talk on social media to see if we can get an updated roster. We'd like to be calling out these names, but we're going off of numbers or these updates that Miss Kaus is doing a fantastic job in providing us here. This one's flicked up to Fontenot. Blankenship down. Referee says play on. He's slow to get up. And so here comes his substitution officially. 5 in here for the Florida Roots. One of those big backs that we saw early out in Panama City. Made it really difficult to play over the top here for TSC. Just a couple weeks ago with their first road contest. Zamora throw into Blankenship. Looks to settle it down, try to get back to Zamora. It's read well by the Roots. Try to get a little 1-2. A little too heavy. Johnny will look to collect the throw, gives it back to Zamora. He'll throw it back. We are back in play. All the way dropped to the back line of the defensive half to Chambers. All the way back to Bosco, who's about 10 yards out of the goal box. Chip on over the top, looking for the youngster Ryan Daunt. Able to, it appeared to keep it in play, but it looked like ball skipped out of the boundaries there. So back in the mix here, Florida Roots into the attacking third. Over on the far side, here comes Austin Lee on pursuit defensively. Drop back to Vidal. Centering ball here. And look to be try to chip over the top. A lot of backspin on that one. Florida Roots player able to collect. Gets the ball caught under his feet and takes a tumble here. And TSC, long story short, is going to come away with it. Just service over the top. Direct line soccer. Fontenot! It's a miscommunication. And Cousin Side puts it in the net. Very similar to how we did against Jacksonville. And we have broken the deadlock here. Cousin Side, third goal of the season. Number 1 in your programs. Or number 11 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, Cousin Side. Good for a TSC goal! And just like that, the Battle Lions up 1-0 here from Gene Cox Stadium.
It feels so good, Andrew. It feels so good.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's been quite some time since TSC had the advantage here, but it feels good to be back on top. Cousin Cy continuing a fantastic 2022 campaign. Very similar, was it not, to that Jacksonville goal that he scored opening week?
It is.
And that's just direct line soccer. My guy's faster than your guy.
It was just a matter of time before Tallahassee, as much time as they've spent on the offensive end, that somebody on the opposite side was going to come in like that. It was just a matter of time before it was going to happen, and it finally happened.
There you go. So book it. 26th minute. Cousin Side, third goal of the season. 1 against Jacksonville, 1 against the Florida Roots, and he's come all the way back around to double dip on the Roots once again. 2 goals against the visitors from Panama City. And that just looked like a miscommunication in the back, guys. The defender pulled up a little bit. He thought the keeper was going to come out, but it was just that sweet spot with enough space. Cousin Cy says, if you guys don't want it, I'm going to put this joker in the back of the net. TSC up 1-0.
Taking advantage of that opportunity, and they've spent so much time on this end of the field. Like you said, it was bound to happen. They were going to get a goal.
Because eventually somebody opposite side from where they've been most of the time was going to come in.
I love it.
That's what just happened.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was one of the items of conversation. Coach Bruno said they hit us in the mouth last time that they played. We weren't ready for them. He said that is not going to happen again tonight. And so far, TSC, the team living up to the coach's billing. And the good guys up 1-0 here early. 28th minute, TSC with the advantage.
Keeping that momentum.
They did take that water break.
Yep, so they did use that first half water break.
That was a water break.
There you go. That's a good point of conversation, Joe. That's the first water break we've seen at home this year. Of course, this looks to be tried to chip over, and it was a handball. And always exciting. Johnny Fitzgerald with a good round of applause there for the referee call here. Good to see him back with the squad. Of course, like we said, missed last week with the illness. Really would have loved to have him versus Southern States. Chambers with
that was a choice, Chambers, but I appreciate your spirit.
With a go from 25. And, you know, sometimes you have the center back, the defenders don't like to take a rip at Adrian, but that is not the case. No bashfulness from Mr. Chambers.
I love it.
Aggressiveness. We've seen a couple shot attempts here from the back line. Zamore had one on target. Chambers that most recently. Service coming here from the back for the Florida Roots. One well by Joey P. Here in the midfield, just on the Florida Roots side of the field. Here comes Vidal. He's a dangerous one, number 21 for the Roots. He'll collect it off the give and go. Joey P. with a sliding effort, but he's able to recover. So a little opportunity here for the Roots. Zamore with an assertive win. Great challenge here by Mike on the near side. Out for a Roots throw. 30 yards from goal now. Vidal tried a centering ball, but it's read well.
Our boys taking it back.
There you go. Spilled out to the perimeter. Tries to chip it over the top. A little bit of small ball, but it looks like it drifts just out over play. But a good little combination play here on the near side. Of course, between Daunt and Fontenot. Two very speedy, dangerous players. Love to see them out in the perimeter, out in space, out up top. So far, giving the Roots fits here in the 30th minute. Centering ball goes through the backside. There is one player for the Roots about 20 yards from frame, diving in front of it. Great play there. And it's going to be up over the top and out of play.
Now, I think that was number 10, wasn't it?
There you go.
Oh, okay. So I'm doing a little social media digging. It looks like number 10 is a young man named David Schrute. He's a native of Panama City.
There you go.
His actual full-time job is he is a beet farmer.
Ah, there you go.
Great reviews on his beets online.
Good to see. A little agriculture. Of course, he can't grow them on this field turf, which is an item of conversation when we have a second of it. Blankenship over the top, centering ball. He looks to Fontenot. One but not done. Cousins side flicks it over top of his head, a centering ball inside the box. But it is temporarily dispelled here by the Roots. Johnny Fitzgerald back on top of the ball, try to cycle it around. A little bit of miscommunication. Roots try to get up and go as they throw this one back into play.
Roots is an interesting name choice. Roots are very stationary. Roots aren't mobile. How are the Roots going to get up and go?
And that's what I'm wondering, especially a beach community, which typically has a pretty movable base. It is an interesting name here.
There's a rumor circulating online, though, that they're actually named the Florida Roots because the first soccer ball they played with, they couldn't afford an actual ball, so they just took some driftwood off of the beach and turned it into a ball.
Tangled up some roots. Good to go.
Back in 1784.
There you go. It must have been one of the first established soccer teams back then.
I believe it was.
Drop it back, Fitzgerald with a nice little bit of control. Spilled out to the perimeter here, looking for some service over the top. A little contact up at the top of the box. The referee says play on.
There's number 18, Mr. Beanie Baby himself.
There you go. Dropped on back here to centering. I believe it's Bourne, cycles it around here. And I believe there's a switch here near side here for the Roots. Looking to slice through here over midfield into the defending half here for TSC. Try to thread it through. Sands Pierre has not had much required or asked of him so far, which has been atypical so far this season. Typically, Sands, Ravens-Pierre have been a very busy man in the center of the defense along with Chambers. We have a player down. Some more here on the near side. Seems to be holding his left ankle. Get some attention here. 33rd minute of action here from TSC. Gang, what do we think of the contest so far?
I got to tell you, I'm very impressed by, like I said previously, the momentum they're showing. And also, they're showing a level of ball control that I haven't seen as much in some previous games. In the last game, there was a lot of time with the ball spent up in the air, just trying to, get control back, a lot of kicking around. And this time the ball's very much on the ground. They seem very in control of what's going on. It looks great. I mean, again, I know nothing really officially, but just from a casual perspective, there's a different feeling. Everything I'm seeing is this is a very in control and ready to battle lion
there
team.
You go. Absolutely, and that is by design. That is no accident. Of course, something that Coach talked about, a little bit more possession here in the mix. That's a great point. Adrian, of course, we had kind of been in a defensive role, right? Just clear it. When we have a chance, we'll go after it. But this is a much more thorough attack. This is a much more relentless attack and a little bit more of possession typically than what TSC is used to. But the Roots looking content to allow TSC to serve over the top, and that's something that benefits TSC. They love the long service. They like the direct play, and so as long as they'll allow them to do that both on the wings and over the top with speedsters like Cousin Cy, Blankenship, and Daunt on the perimeter here, they will be more than happy to do so. As this one's going to be a service over the top here for the Roots. Daunt, as we bring up, and of course that's Ryan Daunt, of course, the younger of the two Daunt boys here on the active roster. Of course, Ryan, the 2022 Big Bend Player of the Year here for the local newspaper, the Tallahassee Democrat.
Get it. Where did he go to school?
McClay.
Oh, McClay. They've got some good soccer players.
Absolutely. Service over the top, looking for Fontenot here. This one's out of play for a TSC throw-in. Of course, his brother also, of course, going to McClay. We anticipate we'll see Drew as he's supposed to be healthy this week. Of course, missed with an illness last week. Of course, plays collegiate ball at Belmont Abbey. So good to see him back in the fold for TSC and a bill of health. Over on the far side, here's Geyer. Tries to go over the top.
Oh, that's number 5. Trying to catch up with one of our guys. Number 5, I recognize him.
Okay.
You know what? Yep, that's definitely who I thought it was. He is from the famous Frog family that started the chain of Senor Frog's restaurants.
Oh, very popular in those beach cities,
Yeah, absolutely. I believe his name is Kermit.
There you go. Service centrally. Good step by Joey P. Of course, we talk about some of these U19 guys. We talked about Daunt, but how about Andrew Geyer, of course, the big-time goal scorer. I believe he was the Georgia State Player of the Year on the high school level. Of course, Thomasville High School is Andrew Geyer. He's got those distinct red cleats and the armband on his right arm, which is great when you're calling a game. Any distinctive feature that anybody can have, like Johnny, love the red cleats. Johnny, thank you. Of course, back there, Geyer, love the armband, man.
Thanks,
Makes it very easy up top to recognize who they are. So it looks like Zamora, after taking a tumble, holding that ankle, he's going to take a seat here tonight. A Zamora Warriors effort. Great to have him back again this year. Ethan Stewart going to come in for him. Talk about another youngster, a senior at Leon High School this year. Nice little piece of class there. Chip over the top looking for Fitzgerald. One back here by the Roots. Slip of the turf here, and they'll hold this one up TSC. I believe the player for the Roots, landed on the ball, Joe, so the call was not a foul. It was a handball as he went towards the turf. And this is a difference because the Roots play on natural grass, and there is an adjustment. For those that are old school soccer players, the vast majority of them hate playing on turf. And it does take a little bit of adjustment, including cleats. I mean, it does make it a little more slippery here on the turf. Of course, the visitors, I heard some chatter about it pregame.
Well, you know what? If they want to pay for our water and our grass, then feel free. But I feel like AstroTurf is the more environmentally friendly option. Are we leaders in the field of environmentalism? I think yes.
Perhaps so, of course. And, of course, just with the amount of use that this stadium gets, you talk about, I would say all 5 of the schools, but truly the 4 schools here for the high school level, but also the middle school football teams. They hosted the lacrosse regionals here. So much activity on this facility.
Graduations here.
Graduations, the state championships for football here in the lower classifications. Well, what was the lower classifications here in football. That's a conversation for a different day. This one spilled out here to the near side. The Roots with a little bit of attack here in the 38th minute. Slide and a little bit of contact. Here is a sprawling effort there by Daunt. Holds up play, but the Florida Roots with a free kick opportunity. Looks like it'll be probably about 25 yards away from goal, at least from the goal line.
You know,
width-wise, it's way out here by the boundary of the 18-yard box, though.
I love seeing a little slide, though. It shows that they've got some spunk.
There you go.
Fiery, that they're
Zing.
in it.
Absolutely. You love a defense sliding after it. But this is an opportunity for the Florida Roots, who, to your point, Adrian and Joe, both you guys have talked about that not many offensive opportunities. This is a chance for them to capitalize, get some bodies forward. So this is a high opportunity for them, so TSC need to be on alert. Two-man wall be just outside the 18-yard box. Bosco is going to be on the far post. Left-footed service going near post. Twists over top. Field goal is good.
Number 7, not so lucky.
There you go. Field goal is good, but does not matter here on the soccer field. No points for that one here in the 39th minute. TSC still with the 1-goal advantage.
God, it feels good. It's going to feel good going into the half. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
having a lead. I don't want to jinx us, but
absolutely.
I think we're doing well.
Trying to track it back to think the last time that we had a lead, and I believe it was that Jacksonville game.
Jacksonville.
Back when we were up 2-1 late in the second half. Because you think about last week, obviously did not score. The week before that, it was a tie. We trailed Pensacola.
Yes.
Week before that, on the road versus the Roots. We know how that one went.
Jacksonville was our opener?
And then Jacksonville was the opener.
That was a great game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, able to get a result. The only team to get points against Jacksonville this year is TSC, your Battle Lions. Every other team that has faced Jacksonville has taken a big L, including the Florida Roots team, 4-1.
Okay,
Jacksonville took care of them.
Mr. Beat Farmer Shroot just had a beautiful little, some nice little footwork. We got to give it up to them when credit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Senor Frog.
There you go.
That wasn't Beat Farmer.
There's a good little strong leg there.
Yeah. It's from, lifting all of the barrels
Frogs.
of tequila at Senor Frogs.
There you go.
And frogs are just known for their very thick legs. Tastes like chicken.
There you go. Get them deep fried. Not that bad, to be honest.
They're really not. They're rather delicious.
Service through here. Bosco gets a little touch here in the 40th minute. Good to see our number 1 get involved here. You don't want them to have much action, but you don't want them to have no action because you want your keepers to stay engaged here. So even though Bosco hasn't gotten much run, good to see him get some touches. How about the youngster Stewart? Tries to thread it through. A lot of heat on that one. Oh, second ball. Here comes Blankenship. He picks up the pieces. 20 yards out. Blankenship rips it. Snow cone truck, watch out. This one chips over the top.
You hit on top of the snow cone truck.
There you go. Of course, as always, TSC bringing out the local community food trucks. We got a little snow cone. We got a little tacos. What more do you want?
Literally nothing.
Absolutely.
Though the pina colada snow cone has changed my life. And I haven't had the food truck this week. I'm sure it's delicious. The food truck last week was another kind of Mexican-inspired food truck, and they had a delicious elote, which was the corn with the mayo and the tahini and the lime.
Get it all involved there. Geyer able to poke it through here for TSC. Into the box defensively for the Roots. This one going to be won back here by Daunt. Through ball. Able to get to Cousin's side. Good win here near side by the Roots. Cycle back around, and they will have a little bit of possession. Pressure coming from Cy and Blankenship. Roots are able to escape the pressure. Vidal able to square it off here for Panama City. Looking for some service over the top. TSC, good numbers back. Look at the back line, how uniform and in sync they are. Good little bit of defending here for TSC. Looking to cycle around are the Roots. Want to get a little possession. Looking for a through ball over the top. Chambers and Stewart both in the area.
Look at that defense
Chambers able to body. Does he get it out of play? And does. Good job by Chambers to save the goal kick and able to control it out. And it's only a throw-in here for the Roots in the 42nd minute.
Once again, showing amazing ball control.
Yeah.
Even when they're trying to get back on the offensive and trying to regain control of the ball, they're not doing that chippy thing where they're just kicking it everywhere. They're like very controlled, keeping it on the ground.
There you go.
Winning some battles, again, our Battle Lions.
Absolutely. Throwing coming near side. 43rd minute of action now. Long towering throw. Gets to the near post, but one well. I believe that was Stewart. The Leon man able to control that one. Headed back around. This one will be won by Daunt. Daunt up to Cousin's side. Nice little bit of control near sideline. Oh, look at the swim move.
They are giving him fits. They're all over him, and he is still staying in control.
There you go, Cousin's side. Of course, a fresh haircut.
Oh, it is.
Here today. Cousin's side looking slick here today. He knew he was going to get photographed, of course.
Is like body tackling allowed? Is that? I know that I don't know everything about soccer, but Mr. Beanie Baby is getting a little touchy.
Not in this football. They are Florida Roots Football Club, F-U-T-B-O-L.
Yes.
Of course, but not, of course, American football. But, yeah, the center ref, he'll call this one back. That is not allowed. Fitzgerald, about 40 yards from goal, give this one a ride. He does have Daunt near side if he wants to play it short. Little overlapping run for Fitzgerald. Daunt takes it internally. They'll let him have it, and so he tries to curl one, looking for that back post, but
bounced
clips
off number 3.
off a Roots player and will spill out of play.
And it'll be a corner kick.
Over here on the near side, Fitzgerald, of course, the righty to take this one. 44th minute.
If you were to say take a sip of water every time Fitzgerald's name was mentioned, you would be very hydrated.
Absolutely. That's his job, center mid, team captain.
Crushing
He is
it.
the facilitator. Oh, trying to
get
sneak
in
this
there.
one in near post. Daunt with the second effort, and the left foot shot towers over the top and out of play.
It was such a moment that could have happened because their goalie definitely moved out of the box, and he's got to be tired. He has been working a lot, unlike Bosco, who is, you know, staying a little active, but this poor goalie, I think he's going to be pretty worn out.
Absolutely. Starting
So
to get some numbers in here for the Florida Roots. We had somebody chime in on Facebook, so appreciate it.
Was I right about any of it?
There is you were talking about Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Ironically, number 18's name is Ty, according to this.
Shut up.
According to this.
You guys, I'm done here. I'm psychic. It's been confirmed. I could feel he had a connection to the Beanie Babies.
Absolutely.
I'm so good at this. I'm crushing.
Sometimes things just take care of themselves. One fresh pillow, one fresh broadcast right now. Fantastic work thus far. 45th minute of action approaching halftime. We're going to get a healthy amount of stoppage time, though, of course, with the water break and a couple different injuries. So we could be getting up into the 50th minute or so mark here for the first half on the unofficial clock. Service from Geyer. And the Thomasville man had a rip at that one. But it looks like a foul to be called. And so I believe it's a Florida Roots free kick coming out of the back.
My commentary has been described by a friend of the team as color commentary. And
Exactly.
I do very much feel like Olympia Dukakis' character in Steel Magnolias when she bought the local football team and was having a conversation about whether their uniforms were purple or aubergine.
There you go.
Our uniforms are definitely gold.
Definitely gold.
Very
the
classy.
Saturday golds.
Love it.
Definitely has a regal feel to it, especially with the purple warm-up uniforms as well.
Screams lion. Lions. I'm a Leo. August 6th is my birthday. Thank you.
There you go.
And we are powerful and, you know, like our coats, we love gold.
Potentially, that first weekend in August, if Tallahassee continues to win, they could be that weekend playing for an NPSL national championship.
That's what I want for my birthday, guys.
There
Let's
you
do
go.
it. And we've got to win this game.
True.
Got to win.
Got to keep it going, of course. Need to get to the playoffs. Top four, currently sitting at 6th in the table for the conference. Need to get to top four. The Roots, we could catch them. They're currently sitting at 3rd over the top. Here comes Fontenot spilling to the wide side of the field. And he's trying to circle back here about 5-10 yards from goal.
Setting up a play, not rushing in.
Back here to Daunt, left-footed service.
Did you see him kick that leg? That is such a frog move. I told the frog family, it's just so apparent.
Service over the top, going here back in. And so it'll be an opportunity for TSC. Back to Fitzgerald. Sip of water. This one coming out here for the Roots. Vidal able to turn the corner. So a little 3-on-5 if they want to run with it here for the Roots. Down the near sideline. Chambers in position. Thought about pulling the trigger. Did one of the Florida Roots players, but it's going to be dumped back around. Spilled out to the perimeter. Collected by the Roots about 20 yards from goal.
Back to the beat farmer. Don't do it, beat boy.
Service. Oh, takes a shot.
To the face.
Thinks it's not Daunt over there. Austin Lee, number 22, throws his body in front of the ball.
Get
Gets
well soon, Austin.
penalized for that one. Turns back against the grain. Roots into the offensive third. 35 yards out. Wants to have a rip. Bosco watches it go up over the top. We're now 3 minutes deep in stoppage time.
That wasn't even, I mean, Bosco barely had to move.
Exactly. Calmly. Nerves of steel he has. No way that even in the area of the goal, I could just watch that one go over. No way. I'm definitely jumping after that one. 4 minutes deep now in stoppage time. Bosco gives it a ride here.
There it is.
And
Then we got
that
halftime.
is the end of the first half. TSC going into the break with the 1-0 advantage thanks to the 26th minute goal here from Josiah Cousinside Fontenot here to put the Battle Lions on top. They lead the visitors from Panama City 1-0. Gang, thoughts on the first half action here?
It feels good. I love winning. I don't want to get cocky. But I really do think the score is reflective of how the teams are playing. Our guys are going for it. They're going for shots. And this is the best that I have seen them play probably since the opener.
There you go.
And I would concur. The one thing I've noticed is I like the way Tallahassee getting back on defense. Here, they're not making it easy. And also like the aggressiveness. They got more people going toward the goal tonight. The numbers, when we do the numbers in a couple of minutes, the numbers are going to bear that out. Here, Tallahassee has been way more aggressive on the offensive end tonight. Here, which is something that, to be honest, this is like the third game I've seen them. This is really the first time I've seen them this aggressive on the offensive end.
Yeah, a lot of times they're spending so much time defending.
And that's one of the things, and Jupe will talk about it too. I mentioned it back at the Jacksonville game that you have, in this sport, sometimes you got to put more people forward on offensive. You can't put just 2 or 3 people. You got to at least put 5. And Tallahassee's doing at least 5. And what I also like is the fact that when the Roots defense is going one way, there's an opening on the far side. Somebody can come flying in opposite here, and if they can time it right and get the ball to them, they got a great shot on goal. That's how That's how Tallahassee got the goal.
There you go. Absolutely. The pressure is on. Of course, TSC relentless on the attack here so far, but a fantastic first half here. And while we have an opportunity, we're going to jump out for a quick commercial break. Of course, our local advertisers, give them some love, get us an opportunity for catch a break. But thank you for joining us so far on the first half here. Adrian Couch, Andrew Jupe, Joe Ward here on the broadcast, James Ward on the camera here, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, TLHsoccerclub.com. Thank you for coming aboard. We're going to take a break, come right back on the other side of the intermission. And welcome back here to Gene Cox Stadium here on the south side of Tallahassee. Of course, it's part of TSC Live here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio, or, of course, streaming here online, tlhsoccer.com, or, of course, the Tallahassee Soccer Club YouTube account. Battle Lions up 1-0 here at the break, thanks to Josiah Cousin-Sai Fontenot's goal in the 26th minute. And that is the current difference in the ball game. Currently, as you can see, at halftime, at the intermission here, an opportunity for some people to check out the fantastic food we have down there. Snow cones down there, burrito truck, snow cone truck, excellent stuff going on. So we talked about it a little bit sprinkled out, but of course we're joined by Ms. One Fresh Pillow, a great local business, and of course a great supporter of TSC here, Ms. Adrienne Counts.
That's me.
Thank you for coming aboard with us. So obviously you guys partnered with our supporters group, the Old Field Battalion, and you guys had a dope pregame festivities. Talk about what you guys did, what was going on. There was just so much. So just kind of spill the beans for those who were either setting up production equipment or they had other stuff going on, picking up the kids and getting ready for the game here.
I tell you, we had so much fun. We all met up around 3. Well, 3 was the plan. We actually got together around 4. We had 3 tents set up to keep us protected from the blazing heat. And we had too much food and, you know, tons of fun. But most importantly, number 1, we gave away over 100 pillows. And we had a couple extra laying around. It was something fun and nice that we wanted to do for the soccer fans and to promote our local team and kind of give a little fun holiday weekend incentive to come out and support our boys.
Yeah.
And we were also happy to promote the Oldfields Battalion. They're the support group. They have the amazing drums. They also, tonight, they didn't have smoke for the goal. That made me sad. I wonder what happened. I love the smoke. It makes it feel like a real game, you know? But those guys are so amazing, and they love supporting the team, and they are actually doing a fundraiser right now. It's called a Pride Raiser, where you can pledge a dollar amount per goal that our Battle Lions are going to score in the month of June, as low as $1. And then at the end of the month, you know, say you pledged $1 and our guys score 10 goals, you're going to send them $10, and it is going to support a great local LGBTQ cause. And they have chosen the Tallahassee Queer Arts Collective, I think is the name. So art, supporting the LGBTQ community, hanging out with our fun friends, Oldfields Battalion, giving away free stuff, which is like my love language. I was the Oprah of pillows, Andrew. I literally was like, you get a pillow. You get a pillow. It was amazing. I really loved it, and I would do it more if we wouldn't go bankrupt.
There you go. There you go. At a certain point, got to cut it off, right? But great to see, and just some fun festivities, and like you said, some encouragement, and that's what it is about, establishing a community event and just getting out there and just enjoying a quality summer Saturday with your local Tallahasseans.
Yes, and I want to plug being a season ticket holder for these games. It is so affordable. I think it's like, I don't know, $70 or something. It's very inexpensive. And then kids under 13 get in free. And they are having so much fun, you guys. Like, I can see from here, I can see my daughter with a bunch of other kids, and they're playing soccer over on the side. And we have some other kids that came in, and they brought their own little drums from home, and they are cheering on the boys with Oldfields Battalion. And it's just such a fun environment. I absolutely love it. And can we be cliche and discuss the weather is gorgeous tonight? I know it's Florida and it's humid, but look at that sky. Come on.
There you go. There you go. It could definitely be a lot worse. Definitely not muggy
no
or
rain.
post-rain.
Ooh, I was
clear
nervous.
Skies. Beautiful. What you think, Joe?
Weather's pretty darn good tonight compared to what it could be.
Yeah, pretty darn good indeed. Joe,
for this time of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, once you make that turn into May, June, dude, it's tough sledding. Joe, I know you got some numbers for us, man. What do you think of the action so far? What did the numbers tell us here from the opening half?
This will immediately tell you right off this first stat is going to tell you everything you need to know right off the bat.
Okay.
Last week against Southern States, I had TSC for only 2 shots on goal the entire game.
Oof.
They got 10 tonight at the half. The Roots only with 3 shots on goal, but they got their goalie who made a couple of incredible saves. He's got 5 saves by my count. Tallahassee won. Free kicks is 6-5 here, so that's pretty much a wash. Fouls is 7-5. It's nothing major there. Corner kicks 4-2 Tallahassee. Here's one that kind of will give you an idea about the aggressiveness.
Okay.
Last week, Tallahassee only had like 13 throw-ins in the first half. Tonight, at halftime, they got 25. It tells you about the aggressiveness. And goal kicks is 7-4.
There you go. Of course, like we said, Bosco not being called upon often at all, which is a good sign. But like you said, and if I'm correct, gang, no bookings, right? No cards of any sort so far?
Which is a beautiful change from last week.
Of course, we went back-to-back weeks. Last week, a total of, I believe it was 9 cards. The week before that, I believe there were 8 total cards.
I think it was 8 against Pensacola. I think it was about like 5 last week.
Yeah, well, 5 for Tallahassee, 8 cards total. So it was, it was 5 for Southern States, and I think it was 3 for Tallahassee, and Pensacola was the inverse. It was 5 or 6 for Tallahassee, 2 or 3 for Pensacola there. So they were a-flying, but not today. Letting the boys play. It is a little bit of a more stand-up game.
Yeah, it was a very different vibe. It's a very scientific word. Very different vibe last game. Things felt a lot more intense. It felt like there was a little bit more of a hostility between the players.
It got chippy.
It got real chippy, babe. It got real chippy. And it was. I will say that my husband was very vocal about his displeasure in the stands, as were many other spectators. We had some people that were, holding up their personal yellow cards to express their displeasure. But it was rough. It was a rough game to watch for a lot of reasons, and one of them really was that kind of chippiness and kind of negative energy you could feel between the two teams. And while I do think our boys in gold are absolutely crushing it tonight, the Roots guys are being aggressive but not disrespectful. They're showing a lot of sportsmanship, and it's a really good, clean match that I'm excited to see us win. Am I going to jinx us by saying we're going to win so many times? Are you going to throw me out of the skybox, Andrew? Please say no.
Hey, well, I'm not going to throw anybody out of the skybox. A lot of security. The president has security tight. There's eyes all over stadium. I'm not getting teed up for any kind of assault here tonight. We're having some good, clean fun here at TSC, and let's get her going. Second half underway here at Gene Cox Stadium, and we will get ready to rock and roll for this ball game.
Now, number 3, he had the ball first for the Roots. Don't know his name, but I did hear murmuring in the stands that the Roots has to have a 3-minute longer halftime so number 3 can make sure his hair looks perfect.
There you go.
Look
nice, play nice, they said.
It's luxurious.
Play nice, they pay nice. And Deion Sanders, FSU alum as well.
Oh, Neon Deion,
There
baby.
you go. Clearance from Chambers coming out of the back line here for TSC. And we did get a couple names here in the book, so we'll try to do a better job this half of giving a shout-out to the Florida Roots guys.
I think my job in the first half was flawless. How dare you?
There you go.
How could you possibly do a better job than making things up?
What is better than perfection? That I do not have an answer for.
What I love also about Tallahassee soccer is not only do we have so many amazing high school level players, but we are so fortunate to have the best women's soccer team in the nation right here in our hometown, the Florida State Seminole women's soccer team.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely fantastic pedigree. It's a shame that Coach K is hitting the old trail. Of course, new soccer coach coming in here, so changing of the guard for Florida State. But, yeah, the ladies absolutely dynamic, dominant of the conference and the nation, really, of course, especially over the last 5 or 10 years. Fantastic for the local city here for Florida State Seminoles. And
we got to get a women's league going at this level. That'd be, I mean, not me personally, but I would love to support a women's team like the guys. I think it'd be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, you got the collegiate feeder going into it. Like you said, if you can get to the college program on board, man, all they have to do is come down the street. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Don't need to organize any kind of housing or anything. And
there are also some good high school girls teams.
Yes,
Not only here in
exactly.
North Florida, but also right across the state line in South Georgia.
Yep.
Some good teams up there.
Absolutely.
And I think that we're going to see a big surge on the high school level of more and more athletes choosing to play soccer. I think because there's such a toll that American football takes on you and all of the information they're finding out about concussions. You know, I think that soccer is going to be a safer sport in the future, and hopefully more people will play and get involved and support. And I love it. I love to see it.
There you go.
And Ted Lasso is doing his job at turning everyone in the world for soccer, just like with his mustache. Thank you, Jason Sudeikis, for living.
Absolutely. Of course, it's all feeding the beast, right? All feeding the beast.
Oh, gosh.
Woo!
And an elbow
That
to
was
the
a little
face
obvious.
here. As this one
21.
Geyer catches it in the face here. As this one, an arm thrown back and tumbles to the turf here in the 49th minute of action.
If this was football, that would have been like a face mask.
There you
There
go.
were very like fingers poking in the face where they should not have been. Are we getting a yellow card?
And they will issue it here to the Florida Roots.
Okay, good.
Yellow cards on Tallahassee.
But it looks like a Tallahassee. Looks like they
Wow.
gave it to. Did they give it to Cy? Okay, so one each way. Yep,
What did he do, Geyer? What'd you do?
one each way. It looks like a little
Mouth.
extracurricular,
A little mouth.
shall
mouth,
we say?
Mouth situation.
Well, Geyer was holding the Roots player's jersey, and then that's when he got the blow to the face.
Little bit of a reach back here as we get things all ironed out.
So we got a couple little chips tonight going in the second half.
There we go. There we go. So 51st minute. Joey P with a little defensive effort there. Florida Roots, of course, in white and black, going right to left here on your screen. On the other side, TSC and the Saturday Golds going left to right. That's north to south geographically. Roots with a little spell here. Cycles it back around. Morin. And this one's going to be taken away. Blankenship playing direct. Wants to go Cousin Cy right down Main Street. It's a 1-on-3 here for Fontenot. Late arrival coming here. Geyer on his right, swept away there for the Roots. And they'll look to launch a counterattack. Ladalvi here for the visitors. Threads it through now. Bushmeister here for the visitors from Panama City. Left-footed shot just wide of frame. Bosco watches it go to the outside to be a TSC goal kick coming out of the back here. Of course, Bosco, the goalkeeper here for TSC. We got some names trickling in here, and they changed your lineup card.
Like,
you went away.
honestly,
We took a little commercial break here to show some local love to the
I worked
businesses.
really hard to do that very legitimate and accurate research, and they took it from me, and I'll get over it, but I'm a little bitter.
There you go. There you go. So this one collected back by Cy. Here looking to turn. Square ball to Blankenship.
Yes,
Another
baby.
overlapping
Come
run.
on.
Austin Lee
Get in.
wants to kind
Oh.
of center it here. This one's going to be deflected by Marin, but one back here by Blankenship. Left-footed
Yes.
service into Cy with a deflection back to the Roots.
Cy is on it.
There you go.
And you-
Vidal handed by Joey
Yeah,
P.
we got a hold.
Joey P gives him the old seatbelt, and it looks like the referee wants to chat. So we jinxed
He's
it,
like,
guys.
my bad.
No yellow cards in the first half. Yeah, my bad indeed. 3 yellow cards in the first 6 minutes and change here
We're
in
too
half number
powerful.
2.
What we're learning is our words have power, and we really need to be more responsible about it.
There you go. Don't ever forget.
Should have known. We flew too close to the sun, Jude.
You know what they say. That didn't work out well in ancient mythology. Doesn't seem to be working out too well here. We try our best, though, right?
We're doing what we can. Back to, Cy, Cousin Cy's have a lot of possession already, and I'm really appreciating how he showed restraint in, waiting for his, fellow offensive players to come up and give him some support instead of trying to run and be a little bit of a ball hog. He's like, it's very strategic play that we're seeing from the guys. It's a very smart play tonight, I think.
Yeah, some good hold-up play, some reinforcements coming, spilled out wide to Fitzgerald. And it looks like the defense here is in the area for the Roots, and it'll be out for a goal kick here. Joshua Burton wearing number 1 here, the goalkeeper for the Roots.
You said Fitzgerald, so I took a sip of water.
There you go. Stay hydrated. Morin here on the near side. Little centering ball for the visitors. Of course, currently sitting at 3rd in the table here of the 7 teams in the Gulf Coast Conference. So if the playoffs were to start today, the Roots would be in. And unfortunately, TSC on the way out. But things a little different here in the second time that these two teams played. Of course, at this point over in Panama City, it was 3-0 Roots. TSC did not score till later in the second half. They ended up getting 2 to save a 4-2 result. And here comes a full head of steam, and here comes Daunt. Turn for Blankenship. A little 3-on-4 if TSC wants to go with a little bit of a heavy touch, and the Roots are able to recover defensively here. Marin look to go on the counterattack, but they'll spin back around, and the Roots look to possess.
But our guys are just still, the energy they're showing, even after they lose the ball, they're right back on top of it.
Absolutely. So here comes a prodding offensive effort from the Roots as they get into the attacking third. Sans Rabbins-Pierre, turn and shot on goal. It takes a little bit of deflection. I believe it's off either Joey P. or Chambers out of the back. And so I believe this is going to be a Roots corner kick and will be here on the near side.
Do we get to see their huddle?
Yeah, we'll see if the huddle up. 1, 2, 3, 4,
they're going to do
5, 6-man huddle.
Yeah, that's the huddle.
Over on the far side. There you
the whole
go.
idea is they're going to wait to the very last second.
What is this?
Then they're going to show what they're going to do.
See, it's going to be 6 men splitting out of the box. TSC only fronting 4 defenders here. So they're going to wait for the defenders to come to them.
I think they're like getting together and giving themselves like a motivational talk, like you're beautiful and you're special.
You got this, guys.
You're more than a soccer player. Your strength comes from within.
There you go. Substitution coming. Austin Lee out. Drew Daunt in. So both of the Daunt brothers on the field. Back post diving effort there. And Drew instantly in on the action. Of course, the Belmont Abbey man coming back to play for TSC. So obviously both last name Daunt. So we will refer to Drew Daunt, number 6, as Drew. And aptly his brother. Younger brother, double the number 12, Ryan.
Oh, that's
we'll keep him Drew and Ryan here. So
love to see that.
there you go.
They're huddling again. Your hair looks amazing, number 3. Don't let anyone tell you any different.
6-man split coming, going to go back post about 6 yards out. Bosco sprawling effort to his left, able to keep this one.
Saves everything.
Absolutely out of the net here. Blankenship putting a little pressure on. Fontenot's going to giddy up and get after here. Looking to put some pressure on Burton. Out of the back, plays it back to Morin. Blankenship, secondary pressure. Tried to play a little give and go, slipping on the turf. Morin's able to recover. Drew Daunt will pressure him. Blankenship's left foot prods it free, but the Roots recover and switch sides of the field. And now an opportunity to counterattack for the visitors if they want to go for it. Play centrally. Fed on out to the perimeter here for the Roots. Hounded by it's Ryan over on the far side. Tries to thread it through. It does. Chambers behind his back. He puts his hand.
I love it.
Of course, a reference to last week's penalty kick. Going forward, they coached him up last week. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love the attention to detail. Coach Bruno's a process man.
We love a lesson learned.
And a rip!
Sir.
Oh, my goodness. About 25 yards out. An absolute screamer. Morin puts this one in, and just like that, we are back to level pegging. But that was a laser-guided rocket, gang, and just there was
no stopping that man.
Good finish. Nothing he could do about that one. We're back to level pegging, though, here in minute 57. So just like that, the old pesky Roots have us once again at a deadlock. Here, of course, we talked about it. We've played the Roots 3 times ever in the history of these clubs. Won 1, lost 1, tied 1. So this, of course, potentially a rubber match if they're able to get the victory here, get in the winning ways. Of course, last time they were here at the Gene, it was 3-0 win for TSC, but definitely a stronger Roots club than last year, and they're able to respond here, minute 56. Marin with an absolute nasty shot to level this one up here for the Florida Roots.
You got to give them something sometimes just so they don't feel bad.
There
They
you
obviously needed that affirmation after their group huddle. It's going to be fine. We got
Service
this.
into Fontenot as TSC trying to get back on the front foot. And this one is at last touch, I believe, by a Roots player. It is. It'll be a TSC corner.
Huddle up, boys.
Blankenship will give way to Fitzgerald, excuse me. And he'll serve it. So currently 3 Battle Lions in the box. Chambers, Rabbins-Pierre, also late to the arrival. Got to give some time for the big center backs to get up there. Of course, 2 of the more physical presences here on this ball club, Rabbins-Pierre and Chambers. They're going right at the keeper. This one's poked free here, and a little bit good step by Ethan
And
Stewart.
look how, I was about to say, look how they settled the ball, and then we had a flyer.
Try to
Let's
go
get it
chip
down,
over the
boys.
top, looking for Fondo. Tries to double light, and he hits off the football upright. It is out of play, but Fontenot almost double dipped on the Roots, but it's going to be out of play for a goal kick here for the visitors from Panama City. But a beautiful ball over the top and a great effort, but you can tell Cy is frustrated by himself, but a good effort by Cousin Cy on the far side in the 59th minute.
And that is what we need to keep momentum going. Even though he didn't make the shot, it was a beautiful shot. It was a shot that had potential. It had a chance. It wasn't wild. And it's keeping the energy up for our guys.
Geyer tracking back on the fringe of the defending third for TSC. And the Thomasville High School man will dump it into the crowd over here on the near side. Gabo trying to thread it through here for the Roots. He's going to be hounded by Blankenship and a little bit of Karate Kid there as Charles sweeps the leg, and it'll be a free kick here for the Roots. Morin back on top of it. We'll cycle it back around. Bissinger will go for some service over the top here for the Roots.
All sides.
Number 12, Max Singer. I think the same person does our highlights.
There you go. So it'll be a free kick out of the back as Chambers will step onto this one. About 40 yards from goal here toward the center of the field on the fringe of the defending third here for TSC. Getting numbers forward. 7 men.
Goalie do this one.
Oh, Bosco going to get on the action. Something we haven't really seen much. Service. He wants to go deep. Looking for Geyer. Centering ball here to Cousins' side. Looking to try to get position as he goes back to goal. This one swerved up over the top. And the U19 man, Ethan Stewart, going to collect. He's gotten some great minutes here for the senior team so far this season. Really reinforcing and validating the establishment of the U19 club and how they're a great feeder program for this senior team. Over on the wing here, it's a 5-on-5 battle. Chambers trying to get goal side. This one towers over the top. Hits the burrito truck. And out for a TSC goal kick. So good backtrack by Chambers here for TSC.
2 for 2. We've hit both of the food trucks this evening.
There you go. You got to keep your head on a swivel down there. Just because you're getting food doesn't mean that there's not a soccer game going on in the background. No one is safe. Peralta. Rabbins-Pierre tries to swing it around the perimeter. Geyer checking 2. Oh, nice little good vision there for the through ball.
Look at that pass. How beautiful was that? Look at that
Fitzgerald.
pass. That's what I'm talking about. Their ground game tonight is tight.
How about TSC stringing together about 8-9 passes? This was not something we saw much of last year. Chip through, trying to look for Blankenship, and he's able to squirm through the defenders. But was it last touched by the Roots or by TSC? Oh, assistant referee says corner. We'll go into the 61st minute, 61st, because 61st isn't a number. And Fitzgerald over on the far side will get us rolling here as we cascade into minute number 62. And the reinforcements get the big bodies from the back here in on this set play.
I'm going to say something that may sound over the top, but I truly think that Cousin Cy could win the Kentucky Derby. That boy is fast.
He's super quick.
It's incredible.
This one's going on goal. Burton going to have to tip it over the bar. That'll be good for another TSC corner. This time they'll go near side and set this one up. Is that Drew to take it over here on the near side? No, it is not.
Got to give a shout out to the Old Fields Battalion. They sound amazing up here in
There
the
you
press
go.
box.
Got the drums going.
They are so dedicated to these boys. I love it.
Oh,
Get
this
it.
one's going to twist on frame.
Ooh.
Burton have to come up and grab this one inside his own 6-yard box. Some contact in the air. Ravenspear a little slow to get up. And the Roots want to try to see if we can get the delay. Joey P doing a good job falling in defensively to cover for the big man as he gets back. Hounded by Stewart. Here comes the dangerous Gabbo. Chambers with a nice foot on the ball. Some heavy contact, but referee says play on. He did get all ball, so say what you will. And here comes Ravenspear back in position. Collected by Gabbo.
No, sir. Field goal, but not a goal.
There you go. 20-yard plus effort there in the 63rd minute. So a little bit of a second wave coming here for the Roots as they start to feel it. And it looks like Danny Perez getting ready to come in here for TSC. And it looks like Joey P coming out. Of course, Joseph Peralta, father of 3, like we said earlier, leads the franchise all-time record for minutes played here for TSC. We call him Day 1 Joey P, Adrian, since the Gulf Coast Premier League days. So he's been around. Oh, and here comes the big former Jamaican national here for the Florida Roots, Ricardo Smith, number 11. Typically wears the number 9, wearing a number 11 here for the Roots.
That man is very large.
Absolutely.
He looks like he should be, he reminds me of young Peter Warwick, physically.
There you go. Over the top, of course, former FSU star on the football field. Drop back to Ravenspear. A little bit of trouble here in the back. Smith
got you, buddy.
Getting some early touches, and Drew is able to spill it out towards the perimeter here. But, yeah, Ricardo Smith formerly played for the Jamaican national team. He scored against us last year out at Panama City. He is a traditional number 9 striker, loves playing back to goal. And like you said, Adrian, he is a definite physical presence, as it looks like Ethan Stewart down here on the back line for TSC.
The crowd is definitely in it tonight.
Absolutely. A good crowd for a holiday weekend. I was wondering what kind of show out we would get here for TSC.
Well, I bribed at least 100 of them with pillows.
There you go. Absolutely. Great. Playing your part. Helping contribute. Feeding the beast.
I'm a giving person.
There you go. All part of a great local community affair. That's what they want. Giveaways, local businesses, getting the word out, fun atmosphere, fun Saturday night. You see your club president out there making sure the boys are hydrated down here in the near sideline.
If they would play our game of Fitzgerald, they would be very hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Fitzgerald or Fontenot, take a sip of water anytime you hear those two names on a TSC broadcast.
Totally unrelated, are there restrooms in the press box?
There are. Yes, there happen to be some next door.
High life.
There you go.
If you haven't been up here, getting to the press box is what I would call my personal K2 climb.
A towering box up top here at the Gene Cox Stadium for sure. They tell me they're planning to put in an elevator. They also told me that when I started doing games here about 6 years ago. So
you gotta have a dream.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Let's not.
But they said elevator in the works.
You know what they could do? They could get one of those nice old people stair climbers. You know, with like the old lady and she goes up the stairs and
it just rides the railing.
Yeah, it's just a thought. It's a thought. We're spitballing.
Good to see Ethan Stewart get up. Of course, Leon Mance, a round of applause for him, but a labored effort to get to the sidelines here.
Hate seeing one of
Oh, no,
boys.
sorry. That's Johnny. My mistake. My mistake. I thought it was number 10. I just saw the 1, but that is a 15. It's Fitzgerald. So a throw-in coming here for PCB. Drew is going to be hounding Gabbo. That's Stewart right there, number 10, able to win that one temporarily. They get his back to goal, and here comes Ryan, going to explode out of the back, lined up Blankenship. He's got fun. No! And this one's going to score it out wide. Here comes Danny Perez spilling out wide. His first touch after recently getting substituted on. 67th minute, the old turf monster takes down Danny. And Morin on the counterattack here, the goal scorer for the Roots in the 56th minute. We'll look to press onward. Centering ball, and the Roots want to run. It's a little 4-on-6 for them, but they'll hold up play a little bit, spill it out wide. You've got Smith over there in the area. Doesn't get to him. Good cutoff there by Ryan. And he's going to feed this one out here. Over the top to Fontenot. And this one will be going through. And a nice little hold up. There's Stewart. He's got Blankenship close, or he's got Perez coming in late on the back post. And this one's deflected out of play, out for a TSC corner kick.
Once again, Fontenot showing that strategy in his play, not going crazy, not just bolting for goal, waiting for someone to be there to provide him with some backup, playing like a team. You love to see it.
There you go. If you want to sound soccer,
what do I say?
You say he's got some good hold-up play.
Oh, hold up. Okay.
Very
all
soccer.
Right. I'm going to be a professional if it kills us.
There you go. Service coming from Stewart. Screamer going back post. Chambers going after that one.
Too far.
And it'll be out for a goal kick. And so it'll be Burton here, the keeper for Florida Roots, to get things rolling once again. And this is a level pegging. Of course, gang, we're talking table talk this time of year, now that we're 4 matches into it, over a quarter of the way through the season. TSC sitting on 2 points, currently in 6th. If they're looking to be a playoff team, this is a game that you pencil in 3 points. And so right now, of course, this favors the Roots. So we imagine TSC, of course, still plenty of time, 20 minutes and change. We'll try to have a go at this one. I mean, we could see an aggressive player. And you talk about one who's able to jumpstart an offense. Bennett Mitchell standing by midfield. You also have Corey Davis listed on the active roster here. Number 17, and he is an absolute beast and can really wreak havoc on the offensive ends. So still a couple options for Coach Bruno to work with. So here comes Bennett Mitchell, of course, former Lincoln man. He'll take out Cousins, or he'll give the armband to Cousins Sai. Of course,
speaking of Lions,
when Peralta came off the field, gave the armband to him.
And we got the huddle.
So here comes the break of the corner kick. 70th minute here for the Roots. Centering ball. Able to get it back on the right foot, and that's Bourne, who will dunk it in for PCB. Win the header. Secondary ball for Bourne. Able to get in there, and just like that, TSC's conceded the last 2, and the visitors from Panama City currently with the advantage here in the 70th minute, thanks to the goal by David Bourne, the all-region defender from last year.
Chambers is having a moment. I think he's all of us. He is very visibly frustrated, a lot of gesticulating. We feel you, buddy.
And that's a man marking. And as the center back, who, of course, does a lot of facilitating on those corner kicks, it seems like a miscommunication because that's a double service. That's intentional. You want to send it long, and they're looking to head it back against the grain where they have somebody getting, and then Bourne, 3-4 yards from goal, unmarked, dunks it in. So understandably frustrated is Chambers here. But let's see how TSC responds and able to get it, because this is kind of reminiscent of the Pensacola game, correct? 70th minute or so, down by 1.
Still on it.
Able to get an opportunity to try to bounce back. Ravens-Pierre is going to spill this one out here for Geyer. It's so weird seeing Geyer on defense, knowing that he's such a prolific goal scorer.
But he's doing amazing.
Absolutely. Threaded through Perez. He's got Fontenot towards the center.
Look at that teamwork.
And this one gets through. It looks like Bennett Mitchell. Blankenship will give back to Perez, and it looks like offside on the near side. But first little touches here from Mitchell.
Ted Lasso said, I'll know offsides when I see it, and I still don't know it.
That was a handball. The youngster can't get away with that one. So it's Blankenship and Fontenot up top. And then you look at the next wave of the attack here. It's Ryan, Bennett, Danny, Perez. Bennett Mitchell, of course. And then you have Drew. And then your back line, Ethan Stewart, Jack Chambers, Sans Ravens-Pierre, Andrew Geyer, and, of course, Bosco still in goal. So a number of substitutions since the way we started here for TSC, as we're now 72nd minute, spilling back into the defensive half Florida Roots in possession now, looking to cycle it around the back line. Bissinger try to thread it through, but Geyer's head will punch it forward, but out of play here for TSC. So it'll be a Roots throw-in, and Bissinger in absolutely no rush to go get this one. Of course, with the advantage here, the visitors will try to waste as much time as possible. Of course, 18 minutes on the clock, but realistically, we've probably got about 4 minutes of stoppage time at this point. So you're looking at about 22 minutes of game time. And it looks like last touched here by the Roots. Bushmeister, the last one to touch it, says the man in the middle. Wearing blue today, which are the referees. So Geyer will look to take the throw in. Drops it back to Chambers. He's in the defending third here. He's going to be pressured by Ricardo Smith. Chambers will pivot out of it. Hounded by Smith from behind. And he's dropped there about 40 yards from goal. And so it'll be a free kick for TSC. Wanting to go quickly. Threading it through here to Mitchell on the left-hand side. And the old turf monster takes down B-Mitch. And looking to spring the counterattack are the Roots. And it's Gabo spring it through. But good slide there by
Look at that teamwork.
Perez. And that's going to be a handball on Blankenship. Free kick back to the visitors.
If anyone is listening from the stands and you can do a wellness check on my husband, he's a very handsome man wearing a gray Battle Lions members shirt and probably yelling in displeasure. Make sure he doesn't have a heart attack. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Always got to check in, right? Oh, yeah. Drop it back to the back line to Chambers here, looking to jumpstart the operation. Spilled on out to Stewart. Threads it through to Fontenot. Here, TSC in the attacking half of the field. Back to Ryan Dawn over the top, looking for Ethan Stewart. About 15 yards from goal. It'll be a TSC throw-in over on the far side in front of the visitors' locker room. So Stewart will give way to Bennett Mitchell. 2 Battle Lions in the box. 3, they're looking for Blankenship. Oh, bike centering ball. Can't get to Perez, and it'll be one back by the Roots. They'll look to clear. And a swirling ball. Mitchell trying to collect this one about 30 yards from goal, but the Roots able to escape and thread it over the top. They're just trying to dump it down. Looks like a hockey play almost on the perimeter here for Smith. But the fleet-footed Chamber is able to recover well.
Look at Chambers taking on that level of an athlete and absolutely smoking him.
There you go. There you go. That is TSC, boys. Some grinders out here. 75th minute of action. TSC trailing by 1 here late. And a nice little dummy ball gets to the outside here for the Roots. Service coming centrally. Smith with a flick on it, and you cannot leave him alone in the box. Burned us a couple times last year, once with the goal, once with an assist on the road out in Panama City. Yeah, 75th minute.
I think we're going to have a water break.
Here as they want to take a stoppage. So we hadn't had one all season, but they're going to double the delight here on the water breaks as we want to take another stoppage here. 75 and change, and the visitors from Panama City up by 1. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break, come back on the other side. We've got 15 minutes and change left here from Gene Cox Stadium. Bum, bum, bum.
Petition to call water breaks Fitzgerald.
We're going to take a All right, and we're back here from Gene Cox Stadium. Of course, the second half underway here for TSC. Just getting out of the water break here. Bosco with a goal kick will get us rolling once again. Flicked on over the top by Mitchell, and that is right. TSC currently trailing by 1 to the Florida Roots in the 4th ever match between these two
Get it, baby.
teams. Centering ball from Mitchell. Blankenship tries to dunk it in near post, but a little too close. Will be out for a goal kick here for the Roots. Minute 77, and once again the clock is a friend of the visitors. Square ball here as we cascade into minute 78.
And I know we're down, but I really feel like the score does not reflect the effort that we've seen here tonight.
There you go. There you go. The dangerous and sometimes cruel way of the scoreboard here on the soccer field. A lot of times it does not dictate the level of play, but the Roots been able to capitalize on very few opportunities. So TSC down the stretch, you say bare minimum need 1, realistically probably need 2, gonna need to get the full 3 points if this is a team who wants to set themselves up with playoff positions, because gang, in just 2 weeks time they have an absolute brutal stretch in the schedule. 8 days, 3 road games, going out to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, over to Jacksonville, and out to New Orleans, all 3 on the road, all within 8 calendar days.
Brutal.
Overlapping run coming here, through ball, looking for Bennett Mitchell, and this one's twisting over the visitors' locker room. There, and almost hit, and did hit one of the visiting players' automobiles over on the far side.
I did not have that on the bingo card.
There you go.
Let's add it.
There you go. 79th minute, TSC, great opportunity here. Set play, corner on the far side. This is going to be Mitchell, right-footed in-swinger on the way. 5 Battle Lions. Now Ravenspear makes 6 inside the box. Oh, going back post about 7 yards out. Only Roots in the area here off of that corner kick. Chambers looking to take the throw in here. He wants to go long, looking for Ravenspear. And a screamer on the ground here by Drew Daunt. This one gets eaten up by the last line of the defense here for the Roots. Doesn't have a chance to get to Burton, but you feel the intensity picking up here. This is your desperate times. TSC realistically needing 2 here in the final 11-plus minutes. Mitchell, centering throw, looking for Fontenot. This one's dumped back to Stewart and played on back to Drew Daunt, on around to Geyer here near side with those shiny red cleats. Nice little move, a hesitation. Stewart going to spill it over the top to Blankenship. Great little flick on the perimeter. And Ryan Daunt trying to get on top of it. Perez will chest this one down. Spiraling twist off the outside of the foot for Ravenspear. He'll win the ball looking for Bennett Mitchell, who gets caught in between a couple bodies here for the Roots. Vidal with a nice little cut centrally, service over the top. So an opportunity now for the Roots to counter if they want it. It's a 3-on-4 if they can get through, but a good defensive effort there by Ethan Stewart. Spilled out wide here. I believe his last touch by TSC, but Vidal will look to control and keep it in play here for Florida Roots. Spilled on out to the perimeter, trying to thread it through, looking for Ricardo Smith.
Fighting Chambers again.
There you go.
Epic battle. Chambers is holding his own against that guy.
There you go.
Proud of him.
81st minute.
He's doing a good job against them.
And interesting tactically, right? Because you want your big man, your physical presence, you want him, and his strength, as we've seen in the past, is back to goal. You don't want him. He's not the same player as like a Cousin Sai, a speedster.
He's not running
on the
He's
perimeter.
not sprinting.
You want him to get him to the interior and distribute. And here comes, speaking of Cousin Sai, trying to get through. Bourne, a good sliding tackle here. But they continue to play him wide for Smith, and it's a little puzzling to me, seeing his successes in the past against us, going back to goal in the center. But we'll see. We shall see. Through ball, Vidal. There's Ravenspear. Good little cutoff here for the center back. And over to Perez. He's got Mitchell on the outside. Gives it to him, cutting back against the grain. Mitchell looking for some service. It's not there, so he'll tuck it down, thread it through to Blankenship. Turn on the ball here, about 30 yards from goal. Nice little hesitation. He's hounded on the far side and taken away here by the Roots. Mitchell tries to cut it off here, 82nd minute. And the Roots can either go full-fledged counterattack or try to run some clock here. Saunter forward into the attacking third, do the visitors from Panama City. Tried a little step over. Ethan Stewart up to the task. Service coming centrally, and this is where Smith is dangerous, right? Back to goal, but they're able to clear out position. Fontenot coming back towards it. And the Roots dropping 6 right now. It's a tough number to attack here, but getting it through to Mitchell. He's got Blankenship cutting towards him if he wants to feed him down at the 18, but he's going to go back towards the center of the field. Looking for Fontenot. Puts it on his right foot. And does it catch Bourne? No, they say it gets through clean.
I feel like that went off a Roots guy, but, you know, even though, like, obviously our guys are reaching the end of the match, really are probably desperate to score another goal, that desperation and drive has not made them play recklessly, which is good to see. They're still, looks like, sticking with playing good ball, waiting for, you know, support from other teammates to be there, good ground control. Even though, you know, we're not winning right now, which I don't like at all, they are still playing really well, really hard, and they're playing really smart. So,
absolutely. An opportunity. These are all things feeding the process, right? Because it's not over yet. They can still bag, too. We've seen some crazy things. Couple goals, couple minutes. It's very doable. As Rabbins-Pierre is going to come step out at this one. The visitors want a handball. Tried to go over the top. Direct. Trying to look for Blankenship, but it's going to be sought out here.
Rabbins-Pierre again. He is staying on top of it.
Tried to usher it out to Drew. We're getting a score out-of-town update. New Orleans takes the lead over Jacksonville.
Ooh.
Jesters currently up 1-0. Of course, entering the day, New Orleans 4th in the table. Jacksonville, as we know, the top dog. It's currently sitting at first place in the Gulf Coast Conference table. 84th minute of action. Cycle back around. Marin Ladalvi getting some touches here for the Roots. On back to Bourne. Cycled around all the way around the field. And the Roots being able to hold a little bit. A little more intent on running some clock, keeping some possession, playing the old keep away. Looks like we have a substitution pending here on the near side. Here for TSC. This one's going to be spilled out. And a little bit of a counterattack brewing here. It's 4-on-5. At least it was. Danny Perez getting back in position here. And a prodding effort by the Roots. Drew Daunt slide. Able to get the ball. Secondary slide out of play for the aggressive Drew Daunt. Back in, getting some good minutes. Logged a lot of good minutes before suffering a tough injury last year with a back line that was absolutely wrecked by injuries. Bennett Mitchell, Mike Zamore, Drew Daunt, all suffering big injuries along the way, all playing the same position of the outside back. And a substitution coming here. This is somebody we don't have on our roster.
Oh, I get to make something up for the home team?
I believe it's...
Fun fact, our roster is online.
Right, they put it up, but number 20, obviously Mateus woke up sick this morning, so he was a late scratch. So this is his replacement. Is that Fussell, number 20?
You'll keep on Smith.
Here's Smith. And it's over the end line, so this will be a goal kick here for TSC. 86th minute, though. Urgent times here for TSC. Need to get at least one. Realistically, probably need 2 to stay in this playoff hunt here early for match day 5 of what is going to be a 12-game regular season. Centering ball to Mitchell, to Perez. Cycle back around to Stewart. See if he tries to serve. He'll keep it on the ground to our new substitute here for TSC. There you go. Taken away by the Roots and intent on running some clock all the way back to Burton.
The keeper. Ugh.
Funnels out to the outside here. Perez now giving chase, trying to apply some pressure. And this is a dangerous time here for TSC because your main objective, get the ball back as soon as possible. Try to launch a counterattack. But if you're lunging after it, you can be caught out of possession, leaving yourself susceptible to the counter. The Roots don't look very intent on going after it. They're just trying to possess. And really kind of the first spell the last couple minutes here that they've tried to do so. As they're cleared out here by Chambers. One back by Perez on the secondary ball. Tries to thread it through.
Nobody home.
And it goes all the way through there. Back to Burton inside the box, and he'll scoop it up. 87th minute of action. So still 1-0 out in New Orleans. Of course, they're an hour behind us. 4 minutes of stoppage time coming for them in this match in the first half. Of course, the updates out there from New Orleans. Heavy shoulder on Mitchell. It'll be launched out of play, but a TSC throw in 88th minute. An opportunity for TSC.
Let's get a leveler at least, you know. Let's level it out. There's still time. There's still a chance.
The throw in coming here. Mitchell lowers the laces about 6 inches wide of the near post. And a laser, but just wide.
Beautiful attempt, though.
Oof. Of course, TSC continuing to generate opportunities, but still that one lone 26th-minute goal here for Cousin Cy. Hanging on here for TSC as they try to punch forward and establish an equalizer here. Substitution coming in for the Roots. Premier into the ball game. Number 4, looks like he's coming in for number 8 of the Roots. So Premier getting his first couple minutes. 89th minute of action. Probably going to get not too much, but probably about 3-4 minutes of stoppage time as Drew lets this one go out of play. Quick throw in now. Hits Mitchell. Centering ball to Blankenship. He's got Fontenot, and then on the far side is well spilling out. TSC trying to maintain possession. Fontenot in the box, no help over there on the far side, but luckily TSC able to come away with a throw in.
That was a pretty heavy contact, intense battle they had going on there.
There you go. Some reinforcements coming. Geyer, 7-man offensive here, or excuse me, 8-man offensive here for TSC. At the 89th minute of action going for your Battle Lions. Chambers will blast it into the grandstand here on the near western side of the stadium, and it'll be out for a Roots throw-in as Radmans-Pierre takes his elbow to the turf and asks the referee for a hand there.
John Batiste Lamongo is number 20.
There you go. So good bit of research. Thanks, Joe, for scooping that up. So Baptiste Lamongo, want to make sure we give him credit.
And yellow card to Panama City.
I believe that was for hold-up time wasting for the layman's term. As this one spilled out, Radmans-Pierre. And so every throw-in is an opportunity for the Roots to waste a little time. That's a cheap objective, right? For them, they want to make this game as short as possible. 90th minute of action now. Substitution pending here for the Roots. Substitutions are also a good way to run clock. Oldest game in the book. Of course, here at the NPSL level, able to make 7 substitutions. They're a little more strict here in the higher classifications of the U.S. soccer pyramid, but you can play all 18 men on the roster if you elect to do so. Into the ball game here for the Roots. Jim Smith, evidently. We did not have him on our roster. 91st minute here for TSC. Desperation time.
Lots of talking on the field.
Here for the Battle Lions. And this is one, of course, got to get over there and try to break this up. The Roots trying to potentially play this one short, see how much clock they can run. They played into Smith, and he's going to try to keep possession there. And Radmans-Pierre will poke it free. 91st minute. TSC needing an offensive spurt. The Roots doing a great job of keeping possession and just not allowing TSC any opportunity to get a consistent attack going here in the latter stages of the second half, ever since they got that second goal, really. After the 70th minute, TSC, a couple of good spells, but keeping them out of the danger zone. Let's see if TSC has some late magic, at least to get some positives here from this as far as the table is concerned. Trying to get a point here as this one spilled out of play for a Roots throw, 92nd minute now. And the Roots in no rush. Baptiste Lamongo doing a great job of spoon-feeding the throw-in, which you will need to do at this juncture. And there you go. Smith just going to go to the corner, try to waste some time. Great play by Stewart to play it off of Smith's body. Chambers, big throw to get us rolling here. Flicked onward. Centering ball here. Drew Daunt will collect here. He's taken down. And they may be a card. Yep, that's going to be unsporting conduct there. And so this will add a little stoppage time, hopefully, as we get into the 3rd minute of stoppage time here from Gene Cox Stadium. TSC still down 1. This is an opportunity. You know, we know Bosco is probably going to come up and take this one. He's going to want to send it. Chambers going to go ahead, doesn't want to waste any time. Towering ball, tries to get it up to the front line, looking for Fontenot. Second ball won by Perez. Off of the back line to Stewart. Poke free. Uh-oh, this could be dangerous. It's a 2-on-4, tracking back, trying to spin out of contact, and yep, looks like Stewart will get a card. So the cards are flying here.
Everything we said earlier, we've been proven wrong.
Yep.
Never fails.
There you go. There you go. So another player in the book here for TSC is a card happy. Second half continues here from the capital of the Sunshine State. Another substitution.
Still only 3 cards total?
3, there's been some more. I think we're probably more in the area of 5. Yep, Joe's holding up the old 5 sign here. They caught a couple in rapid succession.
That's right. There was the double. There was that double.
There was the double on one.
Yeah.
4th minute of stoppage time now. And the Roots trying to milk this one once again. Bradley getting ready to come in. Taylor Bradley, of course, a big local high school product here for the Roots.
Is parking the bus a thing in soccer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. McKettrick will take a seat. He was the man who burned TSC twice over in Panama City. Of course, no goals for him tonight, but 2 of his buddies have put a couple home. Is Baptiste Lamongo on the attack here. Threads it through to Mitchell. Nice little cutback against the grain. And a hold-up penalty. They got to go. Need some urgency. Got to go. Everybody forward. Chambers or Bosco has got to take the kick, and everybody else has got to get up there. You can't worry about conceding now. You got to get one. 5th minute of stoppage time.
Everybody up.
About 10 yards deep in their own half. Service from Chambers. He's looking to go back post with Lamongo getting ahead to it, but up to the task is Burton here in the 5th minute of stoppage time, and the referee looks ready, and Burton, a really belabored effort to get up after that one. The keeper in no rush. The name of the game here for the visitors is what they want to do. Towering blast there for Burton.
You know it's strategy.
Absolutely.
They're doing the right thing from a strategic point.
Frustrating from this side.
Very frustrating when you are a biased commentator like
there you
myself.
Go. There you go. Once again, a proud hometown radio broadcast here on 93.3 Real Talk Radio and TLHsoccer.com. Here, Adrian Counts, Joe Ward, James Ward, Andrew Jute bringing you the action here tonight on a beautiful Tallahassee summer day. So here's Baptiste Lamongo with a little hold up here on the far side. Try to thread it through to Stewart. Gets through to Perez.
Get it, baby.
A heavy one centrally. Second ball able to be dispelled by the Roots here. Ravens-Pierre able to track this one back. He's first on the scene. And he's got a little bit of adventure to him. He's got some touch. He can go forward a little bit.
And Ravens-Pierre, I think that I've seen him recover so many balls from, going into Roots possession. He's been a very good defensive player this evening.
Baptiste Lamongo. And this one will be hold up, and 6 minutes deep at stoppage time, and that's all she wrote. 2 games against the Roots and 0 points. A brutal final result for Tallahassee, who controlled the majority of this game here. Fall 2-1 to the visitors from Panama City. A really tough one to swallow here at home.
We were so hopeful, Joe. We were so hopeful.
So hopeful indeed. So 2 points through 5 matches, TSC. Unfortunate. It doesn't matter how many opportunities you get. It's about how many opportunities you're able to cash in. The Roots didn't have many, but they took 2 to the bank, And a couple deposits here on a Saturday night for the Florida Roots. And for a team who is sitting in third place, they've got an opportunity to leap forward depending on what the rest of the league does. Scoring update from out of town. Jesters and Jacksonville tied 1-1 at the break. So a couple other league games going on here today. As we are full-time here from Gene Cox Stadium. Of course, for the radio audience, we have a brief, right around 2-minute post-game for you. We can get a little more leash here for the online stream. There is no limitations there. The internet is boundless, as you know.
Yes, I do.
Of course, that's going into a post-match situation. So other league games going on here. We talked about New Orleans, 4th place, going against 1st place Jacksonville. That's currently tied 1-1 at the break. 2nd place Southern States, an interesting game at Pensacola today. The 2nd place team in the table going against the 5th place team. Pensacola hosting them, and of course us and the Roots 3rd and 6th. Though TSC, of course, the Mobile-Pensacola game did not take place. So TSC will finish the weekend either 6th or 7th in the table, depending how the points per game falls out. I believe Mobile has yet to register a point, so I think Tallahassee is going to stay idle at 6th in the table, but still a little bit of a spread to climb to get back into that top 4 where they want to be come early July, trying to get into those playoffs.
This was a tough one. However, I do like to, focus on the positives. This was definitely a well-called game by the officials. It was definitely a well-played game by both teams. Like we said before, very sportsmanlike. Didn't get super chippy except for a little bit. We didn't see any of that, intensity, kind of ragey stuff from last week. Though, last week's game I think was a lot more frustrating. This is made less frustrating of a loss by the fact that it really was a clean game. Everyone played well. Everyone played clean. Officials did a great job. And so, yes, it sucks so bad that we didn't win after such an amazing effort. But our guys played great. They were hustling. They showed such amazing ball control. They took so many smart shots on goal. So many positives. So, honestly, very proud of them tonight, despite the outcome. I think that they did really well. They should be proud of themselves and how well they played. And I don't think it's a game where we're going home frustrated about other aspects of the game that we couldn't necessarily control. Our guys gave it their all. They truly did. They put it all on the field, and a great effort.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I like that you point out the referees did do a great job here tonight.
Amazing job tonight.
Very well called. They were in control. They weren't going to the cards to try to dictate pace and try to control this game or get it back in line. They were in front of it. They were proactive. They let it play, especially in the first half, and they let it ride. Of course, we gave a lot of flack to the officials last week, so just as when we see problems, we will be critical, like in any sequence where you're trying to communicate the theme and the developments of the game here. But, yes, I agree, Adrian. Great point. Of course, well-refereed game, and this is brutal. I mean, they outplayed the Roots. Bottom line, outplayed the Roots, and you get 0 points at home. It's a shot to you.
Well, now
you got to eat that one.
Now they're in deep trouble.
And why is that, Joe?
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to give you some of the numbers first. Tallahassee had 15 shots on goal to 7.
And before you get too far, Joe, we have to say, of course, coming up on 9 o'clock, so we got to say goodbye to our radio audience. So thank you for tuning in terrestrial radio here in the Big Bend area or South Georgia here, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Thanks again to John and our partners over at Real Talk for coming aboard, picking us up this season. So to our radio audience, have a great night. So back to the streaming audience as we continue the feed here, gang. Of course, Joe, sorry to interrupt, but I had to say goodbye to our friends on the dials here.
It was 15 shots on goal for Tallahassee to 7 for Panama City.
Yep.
Here. Most of the stats, Tallahassee had more than Panama City. But sometimes in a game like this, Tallahassee played pretty good here. But Panama City got 2 well-placed goals here. One from about 25 yards, and then that was the one at the 56th minute. There wasn't a lot the defense could have done with either one of them.
True.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
It wasn't a mistake on Tallahassee.
It really wasn't.
Part.
Well, I do know Chambers was pretty frustrated about that corner kick. That was a little bit of a breakdown, I think. But in general, you're right. I mean, the first goal, there was no stopping that. That wasn't a slip up. And, the second.
Then that blistering shot from 25 yards put him ahead. That wasn't anything you could have done about that one because that was top shelf. But Tallahassee had their opportunities.
Yep.
Here and
they did.
There is positives they can take from tonight. They played good. They played under control, unlike last week. Because last week it got chippy at times. Tonight there was only that one segment we got a little chippy. There's things that can take, but here's the bigger picture. Pretty much the 850 Cup is out of the picture now, here because of tonight's result. But now they got to just think about the big picture. And here's the problem. The next match with New Orleans is the fourth match of a 4-week homestand. And you only got 1 point out of the four.
The final of a 4-week homestand.
The final game of a 4-week homestand, you only got 1 point. That's not going to get it done. Because you got all them road games looming. Mm-hmm. Here now, it could just as easily turn totally 360 when they go on the road, but it's going to be difficult.
Absolutely. And let's talk about it. So the elephant in the room, we talked about the schedule, what's coming up, right? As we take a look here, so the final game of the homestand, like you see, it's going to be match day 6. So it's next Saturday, back here at home. So come on out, support your local Battle Lions.
Please come. It's so fun. You'll have an amazing time, I promise. Highly recommend. Absolutely love it. And it's going to be a big game.
And the atmosphere is always good.
Absolutely.
When we drive in here, you see families having parties over here behind the Jim Cox Stadium sign here, although a couple of them had one of them roads blocked.
I don't know who that could have been.
There
That's
you go.
so weird.
Some kind of tailgate, some kind of local
so
business.
Well, I call it tailgate. No, this is South Georgia, North Florida. Come on now.
It's
That's
weird.
Tailgating. That's tailgating.
That there were tents blocking part of the road. We didn't impede traffic.
There you go.
No,
Allegedly, if it were us, if I knew anything about that.
True.
When we came in, we went on the paved road beneath it.
Did the over around. Absolutely. So you talk about New Orleans at home, guys, going back to the schedule and jumping forward. Of course, then the road trip begins, right?
That's when it gets tough.
Two best teams in the conference. Where do we go on the 11th, Adrian?
Going
to Hattiesburg, Mississippi,
the southern states, and that's a long haul, and that's a lot, and that's going to be, you're deep in enemy territory at that point. That and I do think there's a lot to be said for playing at home and having the support of the crowd behind you, and not having all the travel and just everything that goes with that. So that's going to be really hard.
But here's something that maybe not too many people will think about in a team sport. When you start these road trips, you're going now to playing people you've already seen. Mm-hmm. If you got people that's doing video or live stream, you can go back and look at the video from the first meeting, make adjustments.
Okay. I like your silver lining. All right, let's do
make
it.
the adjustments. And a lot of these teams, with the possible exception, I think we have not seen Mobile yet.
Correct. Mobile will be the only team that we
but all
have
these
not
other,
played.
All these other teams, you've already seen them. And you got video or live stream things like on YouTube and all. You could go back, watch the tape or watch the video, make adjustments. Now, as I look at the first two, Southern States, that's going to be a tough deal out in Hattiesburg. That's a tough deal.
But that was a game you think about last year, right? You talk about the spread of Hattiesburg, one of the top dogs, the top two teams ended up winning the conference. That was a game TSC hung with them on the road. That was a 1-0 game that Southern States won, and it was a backbreaker right before halftime. But except for that one moment of let-up for TSC on a foul ball, they were right with Southern States the whole game last year.
Now let's go back to last Saturday night.
Yeah.
They played pretty tough. They were with Southern States for a long time. The penalty kick there in the first half was kind of questionable.
Absolutely.
But they pretty much hung with them. So you got to give Tallahassee at least – they can go out there thinking, we at least got a shot. We just go back, look at the video, make some adjustments. Jacksonville, which is – even though they're in first place, you're going to have to hear me out on this one. This can be durable. This can be durable because of the fact you played them to a 2-2 tie and you was up 2-1 late here. So you could go in there thinking you got a legitimate shot at this. Scroll this.
That's all we got here, Joe. But, of course, the next one, New Orleans. So you talk about that 8-day stretch. So Saturday 11th. So it's Saturday, you go 6 hours, you come back.
Okay.
That same Wednesday is the trip to Jacksonville. So you're going Saturday, Wednesday, out to Jacksonville, back. And then the next Saturday, that's going to be back to New Orleans.
Okay,
6 more
hours. Now, guess what? This is about to prove my point again. New Orleans is the next game match in here Saturday night. You're going to have tape on them. You could go back, watch the tape, make adjustments for the return match out there. Some of these matches are going to be durable. I think can be durable.
Doable. Yep.
Durable out there because of that one fact I just brought up. I'm using the same deal as like in football. It's like in basketball. If you have already played somebody one time and you're going to go play them again, you're going to go look at the tape.
Absolutely.
Or the video to make and go back and make adjustments and give yourself a better shot at this in the second meeting.
Absolutely. But you got to also talk about this is a Wednesday night game. So most of TSC, the older guys, this is a working class team. These aren't professionals who are practicing every single day. So that's what burned us last year. We played Jacksonville on the road on a Wednesday. A couple of our big boys couldn't go because they got jobs, they got families. And that's reality of a semi-pro team.
Okay.
And so we got shredded over there, Joe. That was a no competition. I hate to rag on it, but that was a one-sided affair start to finish. And I understand your point, but these are all things that are factoring into it that you have to incorporate.
But, yes, that's absolutely true. But also keep this in mind. This is why you have the U19 team.
Right,
and
absolutely.
you get some of those youngsters up with the main team. But let's go back to the Jacksonville game. Some of those young men got into that game, and they played pretty darn good.
Absolutely.
With the big boys for Jacksonville. That's really what makes me think the game could be very durable for Tallahassee out there.
I think that you guys, I see both sides. I think that there's something important that we are not considering in all of this, and it's something that hasn't actually been a factor of any of their games so far as a club. They're going to be sleeping on the best pillows in the world.
Hey-o.
One fresh pillow.
From here on out, this is the turning point. Post-match day 5, so we will track it now. What does match day 6, now that all 18, well, really, you bump it down, but the starting lineup here, or the active roster tonight, going to be sleeping fantastically, of course, courtesy of my fresh
One fresh pillow. I know, it's tricky.
It's going to be my fresh pillow because I'm excited to enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
But, of course, One Fresh Pillow, of course, we have Mrs. One Fresh Pillow joining us, special guest, so fantastic effort out here tonight. And fun,
Thank you.
right?
This was very fun. I love you guys having me. I hope that I, brought honor to your broadcast and did not make you regret everything. And hope I added just a little extra something, a little pizzazz. And,
there you go.
My main goal here was to just reach as many people as possible, get them excited about this club, get them excited about supporting this club because we love it so much. We are sponsors. We're not on the jerseys, though. There's not a spot on the jersey for us. And,
not
honestly,
yet.
I'm waiting. I am waiting for someone to drop off of that jersey.
You need to get a watermark and some kind of pillow in the background.
I want
Maybe
it so
just
bad.
like a little subtle shot.
I want it so bad, Jupe. I need somebody to drop off that. I need somebody to drop off that jersey. But for now, we're sleeping with the whole team, and I'm okay with that.
There you go. Absolutely.
When you came in here, you was having fun.
I do. We are having fun. We are having fun. I do hope that getting great sleep is so important, and I do hope that. I can't help. Oh my God, where is he? With the 3 kids, what's his name?
Joey P. Joe Peralta.
Joey, I can't help you, babe. You got 3 kids. You're on your own. But but I hope the rest of the roster, they're going to get some good sleep, be nice and restored, hopefully take them on the road, continue to get good sleep.
There you go.
And, feel, we always say we put love into every pillow, and I hope they feel that love and support from us. And are we going to be what turns them into the #1 soccer team in this league? I feel like that is a very bold claim, and I'm going to make it.
There you go.
I'm going to go on record.
There you go. Absolutely. Match day 6. 2022, year 2 in the MPSL from here on out. It looks like clear
It's a bold
skies.
claim, but I
Clear
feel
skies.
like I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
There you
Well, I
go.
put my mouth where my money is. Whatever.
Goes
I'm all
both
in.
ways.
I'm all in on these boys, men. I have so much faith, and after seeing while they played tonight, like they're doing a great job, and I am very hopeful for the rest of the season, even though it is tough.
Absolutely. And we talked about the TSC schedule, gang, so let's flip it over to the other side. Let's talk about the visitors, right? We'll talk about the Florida Roots, their upcoming schedule. So New Orleans right now playing a very tough game against Jacksonville. They have to come play a Thursday game. So New Orleans will go Thursday at the Roots and then come and play the Saturday game against us here as a little mini road trip for New Orleans.
I love it.
That's going to be a tough one. Roots already 9 points in the pocket here through 5 matches, so they're rolling almost at a 2.0 points per game. They've got a little stretch here that could be interesting. Of course, the Roots, by beating us, they have mathematically eliminated us from the A50 Cup. So what we thought was going to be potential title game at the 29th of June will be decided the A50 Cup June 12th, as you see that last away game at Pensacola. But an interesting little stretch. Of course, they have a game at Southern States, but 2 close games for them, one home versus New Orleans, and then, it's less than an hour drive for them over to Pensacola. Of course, those 2 complexes very close. So an interesting stretch for the Roots, and we saw Pensacola be a surprise last year. Maybe the Roots is that new surprise team to kind of join the Royal 3 that you have here that have dominated the Gulf Coast Conference largely for the last couple of years. Interesting little stretch, but any final thoughts here, Joe, Adrian, before we get on rolling? Put a bow on this thing.
Just next match. It's going to be. You got to think big picture now. You got to win.
True.
You got to win. There's no more moral victories. You got to win. You got to win. You got to get the max points. That road trip is looming. Keep in mind what I said about the adjustments, because that's going to be critical in the road trip. I'm not going to argue that it's going to be a difficult road trip, but it's primarily against people you have already seen. And like I said, you got video you could go back and look at, make adjustments. I know the Wednesday night game is going to be a difficult one with players not there, but that's why you have the younger team.
There you go.
Here, and those younger players, this will be their chance to shine.
Absolutely.
So the script can turn 360 degrees on that road trip for them.
There you go. Adrian, any last thoughts?
I am already nervous about next week, but as an optimist, I am also very excited. If we keep seeing the level of play that they showed today, and yes, you are right that there are, moral victories are over and we need points, but the way they're playing,
It's coming.
It's coming. They are putting in the work. It's very apparent, even to someone like me who I don't know what I'm talking about. It's very apparent that they are putting in the work. Coach is really doing an amazing job at, building that program and getting them all to really play smart soccer, play as a team, and they have nothing but potential. I'm hopeful for them. And I will absolutely be here on Saturday.
There you go.
Yelling and
There you
cheering.
go.
And I hope everyone comes and watches because it's a great time. And there's a lot at stake. We need our hometown to represent.
Absolutely. Another good crowd out here. And, of course, we talked about it in passing, but just to kind of visualize it. So this is not updated. This was beginning of the day. So PFC will remain idle at 4 points. Roots will jump them into first. So like we said, TSC will stay at 1 point with only 1 game remaining, mathematically eliminated from the A50 Cup. So will PFC repeat like they did last year, or will the Roots take it this year as an update here? And like we said, one more time, gang, Adrian, you referenced it. Of course, home game coming for TSC. New Orleans, the Jesters, a fantastic 0-0 draw last time that they came to town. Very entertaining affair. So we will hope to have another great game on the slate next Saturday. But that is basically all we got going here for the broadcast here tonight, gang. Thanks again, gang, for coming aboard. Of course, Joe Ward, James Ward, Adrian Couts, and myself, Andrew Jupe. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining us for TSC Live on 93.3 Real Talk Radio, TLHsoccer.com, and streaming on the Tallahassee Soccer Club YouTube page. Come right on back here next week at the Gene. Final game of the homestand coming up next Saturday, 7 o'clock, TSC back in action. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend.